Welcome everybody. Fix my mic. Welcome. We're going to do some obsing of MAT games from the January 2026 MAT. Most of these games I haven't seen. The only ones I have are the finals and one of the semi-finals, and then the games that I've played. I was with RJT. We got knocked out by OG in, I think, what was this, quarterfinals? So we're going to see some of the other matches. Start with the finals. This one I've already seen, but I know many of the viewers may not. Oh, we're already 8 seconds in. So, finals HDM was Singust, Rend Ellie's, and Mesmer was AOD. Fist was double Ellie split, and it's double Ellie split on Burning, which is very uncommon. It's not a great map for double Ellie split because the superior 8v8 build can easily collapse on the Ellies. But Fist running the split nonetheless. Perhaps feeling that they can get greater coverage out of a split build. They can counter more builds with this. Anyway, doing the 4-man split, 1 monk with 3 damage. Being a Mesmer assassin. The air and the fire gives them good counter. It's a very deadly combination, but can also escape through snares, escape collapses. So it's very interesting. Fist has brought back their repair kit. At the start, they've got it now under Lisa that's running through their own backdoor towards HDM's catapult. And HDM is a little bit stuck at the moment because they have to respond to the Lisa, they have to get their own flag out and respond to the split at the same time. They're responding to what's now a 3-man split, 2 Ellies and a monk, with an Ellie of their own, assassin and monk. And now this is an interesting part of the game. We'll see here. So the Lisa is threatening the repair kit. He wants to run it into and repair Fist's catapult. Sorry, HDM's catapult. But HDM sitting the AOD here is stopping him. Oh, so here the Gust Ellie gives a Gust to the AOD Mez. It's not actually yet, but later on he does give a Gust to the AOD Mez that allows the AOD to reach, get in range of the Lisa and cast Snare on him. And then the rest of the team collapse on top of him, an assassin, Ellie, and the AOD Mez, and kill him. And then steal the repair kit and bring it back to their own base, which is huge. So HDM just did a bit of a collapse. They've got 2 monks here, the Gust and Assassin. And we're able to push out the split a bit. Pro Monk of Fist threatening to come over there, decides against it. So it's very good composure and patience by HDM to keep the AOD here. It's very important to not get your catapult repaired. Especially against a split build. Yeah, so here we go. That's the all-important Gust that allows him to get the little bit of a catch on top of the Lisa. Looks like the Lisa might have also been using his avatar. So caught out. Actually, they didn't even have the assassin. He's coming over here now. But yeah, Lisa being caught and catapult stolen was a huge factor in this game. So a very big mistake by Fist and a great play by HDM. So now HDM is going to have both of their repair kits. Actually, they're going to cap Fist's catapult. They're going to repair it with Fist's own repair kit. So Fist, passive main team, it's 2 damage, one of them running flags. Sorry, 3 damage. One of them just base, one running flags. The Lisa, that base will run the next flag out. No, bringing the Meze to split. Prop Monk of HDM is shadowing between. Because there's no threat on HDM's catapult, it's very easy for the prot to run between main and split, which makes this a very difficult split map for Fist. They're poking a little. They're poking pretty hard right here, actually. Prot's in range to support. This is a range gust. Is it? No. Probably not a range gust, just with touch gust with lightning strike, I'm guessing. Usually teams run double touch gusts on warriors because it is very hard to split, so I don't usually need the range gust. Nonetheless, he has Rend on the air. Assassin pushing in. Pin down dodge. Nice back and forth by the Ellies. They're doing a good job here drawing out HDM. This is actually a very risky position for HDM to be in. Now here comes a Mesmer collapse backdoor. This no speed boost Mesmer just running back nice and slow. Forces Fist to try and escape. Drop the engagement. Aerially runs away. Firely gets caught out of position now because of the retreat of his teammates. 8 caught out as well. Prot's on the way. Prot did not follow on top of the Mez Rit. So it's 2 dead before time. And Fist probably going to take some after time deaths here. Prot down after time will be very difficult to res. The split build usually only has 1 res to begin with. And here we go. There's a catapult fire. All these guys are in catapult range. And 2 dead to the catapult. So 4 dead after time. Fist Lisa running through front door. Too little, too late. And it just a few too many mistakes out of Fist. Having the Lisa die and the repair kit stolen. And then that repair kit being run into Fist's own catapult. Repairing it. And then the 3v3 that Fist was playing backdoor actually seemed quite good. They were just drawing out slowly against the 3-man defense. And had they continued that 3v3, I think they would have eventually killed in it if HGM didn't have extra support. Nonetheless, the Mesrit collapse, just the threat of it actually forced a preemptive retreat by the split allies instead of just manning up and taking the 3v3 and accepting the collapse. They did try, the early tried to pull out. This split lost frame, the fire rally went down. Prop Monk of Fist did not follow the AOD. Number 8 killed, 6 killed after time, catapult, and that's it. So just too many mistakes out of Fist. And yeah, that's one of the reasons that Warriors is very hard to split on. Partly because of the collapses, partly because the windows you get are so small. If you make a few mistakes, then it can be all over for you. It's not a huge map where the mistakes are very forgiving. For example, on Burning Isle, the mistakes can be forgiving. Also Uncharted, because it takes so long to traverse the map. You can see collapses coming a mile away. You can usually cover good ground by the time the collapser actually reaches the split. Anyway, so yeah, ballsy move by Fist to play split on Warriors. Didn't work out, and that was the finals that gave HDM their gold cape this month. Next up, we'll see HDM against OG. This one I also saw. I think it's the only other one that I've obsed from the map. So OG running a very interesting build. They had Singust, kind of, but instead of assassins, they had rangers. These rangers have assault enchantments, I think it's called. It's the assassin skill that's on an 8-second recharge. It follows a dual attack and it's quarter second removes every enchantment from an enemy. So these assassins are very good at removing, these rangers are good at removing enchantments. That's what they specialize in. They really do 3 things. They disrupt the enemy because they have exhausting strike. They remove all enchantments, and they're very tanky against Ellie damage. So you play them against Ellie builds, to kind of have a defensive playstyle that sort of wins by attrition. You wear down the enemy. They have probably, I think, half the damage of a Woda assassin, so they don't kill as quickly. But once the enemy is worn down, you can win the engagement eventually. They do have enough finishing damage, I think. Perhaps so long as your allies are not shut down. Anyway, so that's OG's build. HDM, on the other hand, ran Singashella main, so the Woda Sin, Gustelli with Rend, and Mesrit. 2 split allies. Breeze and probably Spirit Bond. Haven't seen it yet. See the 8 monk bar. Dismiss. I really like draw on the 8 monk bar. Draw and return. Because you can pull the crypts off the allies and then have an ally run back and return to him to save your own position. But no, dismiss is... It can be difficult sometimes when you're getting collapsed on, or if you're caught in a poor engagement, because you can't remove the crypts from your allies very easily. And if the enemy gets on top of them, they can't escape very easily. Take some DP, and split allies do not like getting DP. 3v3 backdoor ranger gust monk, AOS on 8 by the way, against the split allies. So it is Breeze Spirit Bond. Guardian not yet used by the 8 monk, but I'm assuming he has it. Spirit Bond. Sorry. Guess that was, yeah, Guardian there. So a bit of an engagement here. Knockdown on the Spirit Bond. All enchantments removed. There's the exhausting. Assault didn't hit anything. But not a comfortable engagement for HDM. They're going to pull out of it. See, they're sort of forced to hit the ranger here, who takes almost no damage from them. Now, if it was an assassin instead of a ranger, then it would be killable. So it's a nice defense that OG has there against the Ellies. Especially since the Ellies have to engage in the fire. It's a very interesting build that we don't see much, if ever. OG's main team is Ranger Assassin, same build. Mesrit with Ethereal Burden. Maybe he stole that off the enemy's Mesmer. Must have. Using Arcane Thievery. And the Gust. So HDM sort of pushed back into their front door here. Losing the War of Attrition. Perhaps it's difficult for them to run a flag through all the enchant remove. They're going to try it here. Let's see how this goes. I guess they don't have interrupts either, so they can't really slow down the gust damage very effectively. The AOD removes enchantments from an assassin effectively, or is Conjure and the Gust, but it doesn't have as much to remove off a Ranger Assassin without the Conjure. Ranger backlining here, kind of playing on the Gust now. There's the Deep Strip. So flag cap by HDM. Do they have enough time to hit anything? Conjure immediately stripped. And just going to pull out. Meanwhile, OG running flag on their split defense as HDM opts for a solo split with the Fire Rally. Interesting. OG probably don't have a good response to the solo Fire Rally split. Defending with 8 monk for now. Leaves them with a suboptimal configuration of main team. Still, HDM is pulling back regardless. Losing frame there quite quickly. Unable to cap a flag. Gets returned there. The line back on the assassin there. All the damage of OG. And 80% of the damage of HDM. Against 100% of the healing of HDM and 66% of the healing of OG. Backup flag ready for OG, not even needed since HDM doesn't even have it. See the Mind Shock split Ellie doing a bit of damage there. But it doesn't seem like HDM has nearly enough damage. I wonder what's happening with the AOD. AOD is not sticking for some reason. Perhaps it's getting stolen. There's an AOD there, covered. Why is this not sticking? There's a Cure Hex. RC, by the way, on the prod of OG. Cure Hex, Purge Signet. Lots of Purge Signets got off. No interrupts for them, by the way. HDM taking a lot of pressure, forced to retreat here. The boosts belong to OG. The Purge Signet doing a lot of work against the AOD. Very, very interesting setup we have here. So HDM have a lot of very powerful individual bars, but every single bar kind of gets countered by one of the bars or a combination of the bars on OG. So the AOD is countered one by the Purge Signet that they have no interrupts for, and the Cure Hex of the 7. The 7 Purge Signets cast, 14 Cure Hexes, not a single interrupt. RC also doing work better against AOD than AOF is. So no interrupts for the RC, which is huge, by the way. One of the great weaknesses of RC is that it's very easy to interrupt. But if you have no interrupts because you're running an AOD instead of a Domez, then RC can free cast. Which is perhaps how OG is able to take this stand fight with only 2 monks, defending with 1 monk against 1 damage. So very nice setup that OG has to take this fight. So those are the counters, some of the counters to the AOD. The other counter being the Mesmer here, the Singust Mesmer, which is very powerful interrupt and shutdown bar. Sig Hum, so he can take down the AOD with a Sig Hum for half the fight. There's no interrupts for the Sig Hum, so that's a huge contributing factor. In fact, if he just Sig Hums the AOD and the 7 monk just Purge Signets the AOD, then they can keep it down permanently between them. Very interesting. So 7 Arcane Thievery is used. Complicate. Lots of power locks. Power lock very good against AOD. And lots of PRs used as well. We can see how many times AOD's been rupted. Not many times, actually. So Maga here for OG, who's on Mesmer, is he's Canadian, French Canadian, I think. Anyway, he lives in Canada, and this match is probably on American servers actually. So he should have good enough ping to rupt the AOD, unless this guy's running a huge amount of fast casting. Regardless, not rupting the AOD. Holy moly, look how fast this guy casts with the flag. He must have like 15 fast casting. $495 health, so he may actually have 15 or 16 fast casting. Because that's Suprune health. And I know that this Mesmer Maverick likes to run a lot of fast casting. 16 on the Ethereal Burden. I'm going to Google how much energy that spec means. How much energy that spec is. Did I say 16? 16 means it's 12 illusion. 17 means it's 13 or 14. I don't remember if it was 16 or 17. Holy moly, this guy is casting so fast. Alright, so throw a bird and use there. 16, 16. So that means he's only got 12 illusion. Okay, he needs the inspiration for Sig Hum, so he's literally running 16 fast casting to make himself uninterruptible. That is wild. So OG just forced to rely on the Sig Hum and the Purge Signet. I wonder if he's even getting hit by the Purge Signet in these engagements. Who's being targeted by the Purge Signet? Spell still on the Prop Monk there. Defensive posturing. Sig Hum on the Prop Monk as well. Prop Monk with HDM, Rainy running AOF, I'm assuming. Yeah, AOF. OG gonna push a little bit now. Backdoor of OG is also pushing in. Very difficult to push in though. Part of the reason why OG can hold in the 3v3 is because the fire is behind HDM's back. So HDM have to retreat often to reset their posture, but if they're retreating into fire, they risk dying. Number 8 Monk of OG here, Dark, is caught out a little bit. AOD is on him, so his enchantments are not sticking. He goes down. Res Sig from the Ranger. Nice to have a Res Sig, brings him back to full health. Dark Escape will help him survive a little bit. AOD does not reduce the duration of Dark Escape, and that might have saved his butt there, having Dark Escape ready to cast. A bit of risk there for OG. Good thing that they're boosting. They'll get their Sig back and remove some of that DP. HDM's main team now pushing out. Oh, this poor Ellie just getting stripped over and over again. And he's Ellie Necro, so he doesn't even have Eremites. I mean, not that it would help that much against the deep strip anyway, but his energy will not be so great this game. HDM retreating. They have 2 monks. They're against how much damage? 1, 2, just 3, just 2 damage right now. Crazy that they are almost dying, it feels, to 2 damage while the Mesmer caps. They're retreating because more damage nearby, but maybe that's just what happens when you retreat with no interrupts against a Gust Ellie and a Ranger Assassin. Perhaps if it was an actual Assassin, that retreat would have been even more dangerous. OG holding a 4v4 backdoor with Prot and heal. The RC is just such a good skill in this game. It's such a good read by OG's Prot. This build that HGM is running, specifically the AOD replacing Dom-Mez in the meta around the January mat. Like the read to start bringing RC because now there's no interrupts is just such an incredible read, and that you're against AOD that removes AOF quickly. It's just quite brilliant in my opinion. I know that no monk here on Prod, he likes to run RC anyway, so I don't know how much of that factored into his decision, but it's paying off regardless of the reasoning for it. Huge this game. It's been a long time since RC was meta, because it just gets punished too much by Dom Mesmers. Another attempted flag cap, but it got returned. HDM forced to retreat once again. HDM, it seems like they're just trying to avoid taking DP. They've got a nice build for 28, if they can make it there without stacking up DP. They can take these engagements for a little bit because of the low damage output of the Ranger Assassin, but not for too long. See the Gust Ellie being interrupted quite a lot by both the Mez and the Ranger, it seems. He is not having a fun time this match. OG with the backup flag. This once again not even needed because HGM has dropped theirs. But HGM gaining some ground here. They lost. Why is it? It's because they're against one monk. One monk with 2 damage. OG doing a nice controlled pullback though. OG does a good job surviving. HDM applying the pressure backdoor while the split defense of OG supports the main team. Not able to take out any pit NPCs though with this window. And now retreating. Perhaps the bodyguard. So one thing that's happened since Reforge is the bodyguards, in fact the NPCs are kiting a lot more than they normally do. So the bodyguard has been running out the front door on burning often, which sometimes saves him, as he's being hit by people around here that can't reach him when he runs through his front. See a big collapse by OG, HDM split pulling back. Both teams doing a very good job this game. Flag on the gust of HDM. HDM knows their win condition. They know this is a 28 game. They know they don't care about the boost and that they just want to get down pit NPCs. So if HDM's main team can win the engagement again against a solo monk and force OG's split defense to support the main, and then they have 3 damage backdoor that can get NPCs, then that is one way that HDM can find a win condition. HDM with flag on the prod, I don't know about that. They are still against 3 damage, so just not respecting the damage of their Ranger Assassin, I guess. Dropping the flag now, pulling back. You would think that the Gust and the Assassin might be able to put out enough damage if they can space out the Mesmer somehow. And I can imagine this Mesmer is just interrupting everything this Gust does. Makes it kind of hard. It's basically just the Assassin on his own trying to kill through the 7 monk. Okay, 6 monk of OGs here. That means that there's presumably an opening on split. Is that true? No. It's actually the Fire Rally now and the AOD and the monk on split for HDM. Air Rally is what, up main? Kind of running a flag out. Curious move. 6 monk of OG, not sure where to be because he doesn't know where the Mind Shock is. Mind Shock's at main, there's a bit of an opening now for HDM. They've got 3 damage here at the main against a single monk. Prop monk of OG is on his way. Arriving soon, somehow, perhaps through the defense of the Gust and the interrupts of the Domez, OG managed to survive with a single monk against 3 damage. That short engagement. So I was talking before about how all of these individual bars that HGM has at main are each individually powerful, but each one of them is also countered by a bar that OG has. I was talking about how the AOD bar is countered before. Esme uses Conjure Flame. The Gust is totally countered by the Domez. You know, he doesn't even have a second Gust here. If you've got 2 Gusts, if one of them gets ruptured, at least the other one can cast. But if there's only a single Gust, it's just everything he does is going to be interrupted by the Domez. And then the Assassin, everything he does is going to be countered by the Gust. And again, HGM have no interrupts to stop the Gust of OG, so all of OG's Gust shutdown is going to get through, all of his anti-melee. And then you've got the enchant strips of the Ranger, which are useful both against the Gust of HDM and of the Assassin of HDM, so OG's main team can just shut down anything that HDM tries to put onto them. Is very, Very interesting. One of the weaknesses of the Sin Gust shell, I'd say, is that when you run single Sin, single Gust, this can happen. Yeah, when you try and balance a build too much sometimes, you end up being a jack of all trades, master of none. So if you go in all in on the assassins and the Gust Ellies, so you bring 2 assassins, 2 Gust Ellies, then even if one of them gets shut, one of the assassins gets shut down, the other one still hits things. One of the Ellies gets shut down, the other one still has effect. And it can be enough to break through, but when you just have one of each, then everything can be shut down. The same reason why Hexway, when it was powerful, had 5 casters, the version of Keystone Hexway, because you could shut down some of the casters, but you can't shut them all down. Whereas if you brought melee in the Hexway, then you would only have 2 or 3 casters. So you could have half or 66% of your casters be shut down. Actually, I should say all or 66% of your casters shut down. If you have 2 casters, they can both be shut down. If you have 3, 2 of them can be shut down. Then you have 1 casting. And then out of your melee, the monks can play against 2 of them. So if you have 2 melee, they're 100% played against. If you have 3 melee, 66% played against. And then you only have 1 character on the map that's in the 8v8 that's actually playing the game, as everyone else is shut down in some form or another. So I'm not a big fan of these Sin Gust shell builds for this reason. I know other people like them, but I feel like they have issues in real games in the mat. Anyway, it's 22 minutes in the game, so we're closing in on lore damage. Even though I had obs this game 2 weeks ago, right after it happened, I didn't remember this much action throughout the game, because I just wasn't watching closely. I do, however, remember the wait for 28. OG, a guild that often wins their match for 26 minutes, is sort of famously known for losing them between 26 and 28 minutes. They're a very unique guild in a lot of respects. They play a lot of unorthodox builds and have an unorthodox way of thinking about the game and specs on their bars, like the RC, for instance. They have some solid players as well. Yeah, the Ranger Assassins also being another example of unorthodox builds. Things that the European guilds, HGM's kind of, I think, half European or 2/3 European. The European players never get to play against stuff like OG does. So they load into the mat, fight against OG, and are mostly unprepared for what they're about to face. It's an interesting dynamic. So, see the deaths. There's only been 1 death on OG so far. No deaths on HGM. That death was on the 8 monk, remember, when he was caught out earlier against the 3 damage. Then was res with a sig. Popped his Dark Escape and scooted on out of there, saved by his 6 monk. Maybe he doesn't have a sup rune. Looking at his health now and shield set, maybe that's just a major rune. So maybe 14 fast cast, 14, 15? 15 fast casting? 14 or 15 fast casting. Major rune as well in the air alley. What the? Why has this guy got so little health? He hasn't even died. It says he has 400 health. Now this is probably when he had his daggers out, not on his shield set, but that still seems ridiculously low. I wonder, that can't be correct, can it? That would imply that he doesn't even have maxed out runes. Alright, anyway, it's going on 28 now. So HDM are going for 28. Their low damage team is AOD, Mez, Ellie, Assassin. Means defense is Gust and Air Ellie. Alright, let's see how this opens. 25 minutes, 42 seconds. OG pushing with 2 monks, 3 damage. Chasing around the 8 monk. It's a solo defending 8 monk that HDM has. Running around the pit. Ranger trying to get a range of him. Eats a pin down. Support from the Fire Rally. Gust is not helping too much. OG, so HDM on the other side of the map. Gust Ellie's chasing around the 8 monk. Assassin is in the pit. He's on the bodyguard. AD is on the bodyguard. Bodyguard will go down quickly. Very hard for the 8 to save him. 8 monk of HDM is getting caught out. Spirit bonds himself. Trying to escape. Meanwhile, HDM is already on the Lord. It's only 1 monk that OG has defending. Both teams defending with 1 monk. But HDM already being on the Lord, it's very difficult for the 8 monk of OG to keep up the Lord through this. Miss on the Mind Shock there. HDM going all in, powering the Lord through the monk. Number 8 of HDM goes down on the base defense. Question is, does OG have time to end it? Their Lord's already at half health, less than half health. No monks left. Oh, OG's offense team is dying, actually. Not able to get the Lord down in time, and the Lord of OG dies, and HDM win the game. Action-packed 28 minutes. Or 28 minute. And so yeah, that was the semi-finals that propelled HDM to the finals. Very good match and a very interesting 28. So 28 is a Lord race. Generally, so it's normal for teams to attack against a full pit with 3 damage and 2 monks and defend with 2 damage and 1 monk. And this naturally means that your defense team is going to lose eventually because it's 1 monk against 3 damage. So it's just a race to kill that 1 monk and the Lord. And HDM, it looks like, won that because they didn't even try and chase down the 1 monk. They just focused immediately on bodyguard and then Lord. And with AOD, we're able to train it out through that solo monk. And on the other hand, it looked like OG went for purely the 8 monk, didn't go for the bodyguard until the monk was dead. So the monk was able to run around for quite a while and avoid dying, and he probably got supported by his Gust quite a lot. And yeah, wasted enough time that by the time he died, OG didn't have enough time to kill HDM's Lord before their own died. And in fact, OG was tanking the pit for so long that they took a few deaths around the 28 minute to slow down their ability to kill HDM's Lord. So very, very action-packed and complicated 28. But pretty standard 28. Next up, Fist versus ZQ. The other semi-finals match. Yeah, let me just charge my phone. Alright, ZQ versus Fist. ZQ with Singust Shell, double LE split, possibly. It's two LE Derbs, so not LE Monks. Usually if you're splitting 2 LEs together, they'd be LE Monk so that they can support each other. LE Derbs generally have Mystic Regen. This is something that ZQ do, though, occasionally. Not sure the reasoning behind it, though. So, out of Fist, it's also double early split. Different main team, though, running a Lisa and 2 Mesmers. Perhaps Lisa to have a more safe flag running route. Or flag running mechanism, rather. Fist take out first Sentinel on their side, ZQ dilly-dallying on their own Sentinel. Happy for Fist to take it out for them. Conjure Assassin, so no Storm Djinns on him. Mesrit running the flag, I was going to say. Gus probably going to be forced to run the flag as he's the only main team damage player with a speed boost. Since Fist probably have 2 Spirit Bonds on split and ZQ only have 1, the split engagements will probably favor Fist. Double Mystic Regen though is nice, but no match for Spirit Bond. Yeah, Mystic Regen not used yet. Fist with flag position, double running. ZQ Prot hovering between. Poor Mesmer without a speed boost running flag. Prot running flag? Not sure what the Prot's doing. 3v3 engagement, backdoor. Oh, Prot Spirit on the Ape Monk, so only 1 Spirit Bond for Fist. Forget what I said earlier, this could technically go either way. Lightning Surge, okay, that favors Fist then quite a lot. Lightning Surge, that makes the Mystic Regen more understandable. Very interesting setup that ZQ has here. So Lightning Surge, much worse in the double LE combo, much better as a I wouldn't say much better actually, just better. A little bit better as a single LE. And so ZQ is better off keeping their LEs split apart from each other. In a way. Anyway, ZQ's main look like they pushed up. They don't have a flag though, so they're going to be ahead of their skis a little bit. Forced to pull back. Gonna have to run over the fire and run a flag. 3v3 engagement again. Backdoor. Archer's in the mix. Fist probably going to look for this archer so that they can push in. Yeah, there we go. They can push in further. Being against a lightning surge should make this 3v3 pretty comfortable for them. The only thing that makes it difficult for them is that they have Prot Spirit, but given they have Spirit on one of the LEs, they'll be more than fine. Basically, should be next to no risk for them in this 3v3, as long as they don't let their monk run out of energy and maintain an engagement with no energy. Fist. So ZQ cap flag, Fist gone back for their next with Meze. Let's see the Meze bar. ESO-G burn, drain, shatter, dash, mind rack, no interrupts used yet. Look like an immediate strip on the Conjure. Bit of flag pushing by the Lisa, Lisa is down at the moment. Immediate flag cap. Fist doing something odd on split here. They've got just an air rally and a monk on split. Fire rally running flag.
kind of odd. Means that ZQ no longer have to defend with any damage at all. They Fire Rally could go to main team if ZQ wants, and he could get a jump on Fist main team as the 8 monk is going to be way out of position. Looks like Fist winning the 8v8 engagement though. Or rather the main team engagement, which is a 5v5. Derv Monk. Derv Monk, by the way, on ZQ means that he's going to be not the best 2 monk combination combined with his 7 monk. Derv Monk was meta, you used to see it every single game. However, over the last few weeks before the mat, you saw a lot of teams being punished for it. When their 8 had to defend split, the Derv Monk doesn't do a great job at supporting the 7. If the 7 gets shut down by a Mesmer, then it's hard for main team to push bars. It's a little bit curious that Fist seem unable to win this engagement. Went back over fire again. Spirit Bond support from the LE. Purge conditions. Not the best skill to have on the 8 in this. Or stability as well. Huh. Very strange 8 bar by Fist here. I don't know what to make of that. Missing last skill. We'll have to come back to that later. Flag running out of ZQ's Gust, flag running out of Fist's Meze, so 2 damage, 2 monks for both teams at main. No action will happen. Bit of P-League action though. Bit of an opening for Fist here to do some damage. Here we go, they're looking for the 7 monk. He kites away from the Meze down the bottom. Meze doesn't see the opening, doesn't want the opening, goes back for next flag. And we're going to see some more stalling. So, the 8 monk of Fist, it is very strange to me that he has Prot Spirit, and he has Purge, and he has AOS. I don't know why he would do that. Anyway, Fist finally pushes in range of pit NPCs, take down Archer immediately. Pull back, no risk. 8 monk of ZQ, or stability as well. Also no 8th skill used. Oh, I guess the 8th skill is Guardian, of course. Yeah, it's Guardian, so no Guardian used. So, neither monk has returned. They're both speccing for what you usually would say is like a Singust 8v8. I think the reason behind the AOS is so that you can 3v3 against Singust split defense. So, one of the common things you have to... I guess it also helps you against Hammer Warrior as well. So, it's against Balanced and it's against Singust. So it helps keep your rallies up through Gale spam, which is very important in the 3-3 against Singust and against the Hammer Warrior. So against 3 melee 2 mez, you'll be against a Hammer Warrior, Meze, and a Monk. but it comes at the cost of return, which is a very useful skill to get the monk out of danger. See, if ZQ ever wanted to actually collapse on this split, especially if they had I guess they don't have any crypts on their team. They're reliant on knockdowns for movement control, no hexes either for movement control. So, I guess this is one game where the lack of jaw is not going to hurt them. But if you're eating Cryptsig, for example, and you only have Purge, it's going to be difficult to save yourselves in the engagement. Yeah, but it's also, I'm thinking it's also burning out. And if you're against a Baltdev, you probably have a much better team build. Sorry. Yeah, if you're against a Baltdev, you have a better team build. Anyhow, first looking for the Ellies once again. Oh! Ellie goes down at the main team of ZQ. It's a 3 damage engagement. 5v5. Ellie rezzed, but gonna be running away now. Fist permanently ahead on flags. ZQ not double running. Seems like they're sort of under permanent pressure. Anytime they do engage, it's like their main team Mesmer has been doing work already leading into it. Pressure on Fist now, but I think they'll be fine as it's only 2 damage until the gust arrives. Second pit NPC down, it's the second archer. Pulling knights now. Hang on, they've also got a knight down. So only one knight and bodyguard left in ZQ's pit. And ZQ close to losing this game on split side. Keeping the air rally main now. ZQ sensing the urgency of the situation. Overloading main. It's after time though, and they're going to leave their split into 2v3 that they may be close to losing. Once Fist allies push and gain position on the 8 monk, it's probably going to be all over for ZQ. Pushing on him now. As soon as he's forced to Spirit Bond, not even able to get the Spirit Bond off in time. And now 8 monk probably out of energy. And not going to be able to save the bodyguard. If he tries, he will go down. Spirit bonds himself just in time before the Mind Shock hits. But it's going to be a full main team retreat from ZQ. And now with their pit down, they are running out of options. 8 monk goes down. It's looking over. It may just be over already. Yep. ZQ not able to reach their pit in time to save the Lord. And that is it. So, story of the game. Fist just had a better split composition. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong about the draw. Maybe Purge is just better. The AOS is very interesting. I don't know. I can imagine. So say you're against Singust. If you're ever on the retreat against Singust, so say there's a collapse coming, the Singust defense starts playing very aggressively on you. You're forced to retreat. Say your monk gets Gale spammed. So if the allies get Gale spammed, the monk can aura stability them. But if the monk gets Gale spammed, he can't return to save his position. So the allies will be hesitant to turn around because there's a collapse coming that they need to escape from. Their only choice is to turn around and try and blow up the assassin basically, or the ally. they blow up the alley, then they're in a line with the monk. And at higher risk of dying to the collapse when it arrives. If they blow up the assassin, it can receive Spirit Bond. And so, if they're not able to blow up the assassin in time, the monk will just die. And if the allies try too hard to save the monk, they may die too. So I'm just not a big fan of that AOS on 8. It's very interesting though. I haven't thought too much about it until this point. I haven't seen it much in a split composition. I know it's standard in the 8v8 against Singust and with Singust, but I haven't seen it on split much, personally. Next up, we will see HDM versus Lag quarterfinals. Druidzal, Lag, Singust, HDM, Singust, Ellie Necros everywhere. They all have Ren. They're probably all touches, as you don't need a ranged Ellie. You don't need the ranged Gust on Druids, as Druids is very hard to split, so you don't need to defend many splits. Which is interesting because the fact that they don't run the ranged Gust means that it does leave an opening to split on Druids, but you don't need to talk about that. Monk Warrior on Prot, Monk Assassins on 7 and 8. Anything weird? Conjure Frost, Conjure Flame. See if we have any Storm Djinns. This one looks like Conjure Flame. Probably double Conjure Flame then out of HDM. Conjure Flame. No Storm Djinns. So you have 3 Conjure Flames and a Conjure Frost. Land backing here. PNH! Oh no! Oh no, Lag have PNH. On the prop mug, no AOF. That's going to make it very difficult to fight against the Singust. Huge amount of line backing here out of both these assassins. Oh man. This assassin has not hit anything in a while. Chasing around the Mez. He's sort of pinned to the Mez. Waste of Fox Fangs there. Mesmer should call for Gust at this point. AOD! AOD! AOD, that's why there's PNH. Hang on. So the reason that Lag has PNH is because AOD is meta in Singust in this map. However, HDM have the Dom Mez with the Singust instead of the AOD, which is a huge misspec then by Lag that would have paid off if this was finals, as HDM brought the AOD in the finals, but man, is that an unfortunate read. So Lag themselves have AOD. They are against Aura of Faith. Big amount of damage taken by both teams here, but especially Lag. Looks like they're trying to do the AOD trade. Whoa! Lag's assassin goes down. Base res on the assassin. Looks like they're trying to AOD train the number 5 Mesrit, and that's why the assassin was just chasing him around in circles. But I guess they weren't able to get the snares off on him for some reason. And Lag's in retreat now. Assassin almost joins the fight again. He's here now. Ellie caught out a little bit. Lag not in a good position. Almost turned it around there on the assassin. Let's see, do we have a Purge Signet? We do, with 3 casts. Purge Signet on the 7 monk of HDM. So they've got the spec for the AOD that Lag has, but yeah, that engagement not going Lag's way. Elemental resistance, by the way, on the Mesrit. Helps a little bit against the Singust. Not too much though, it does just get removed by Wild Strike. which we probably have here. Yeah, Wild Strike. Wild Strike on both of the assassins of HDM. Only one of the assassins of Lag. No, actually, Lag don't have any Wild Strike, interestingly. They just have double Fox Fangs. Which means the assassins have more compressed damage, but less versatility. No flag cap out of HDM. We're going to have round 2 as Lag runs in to engage once again. What are they going to target this time? Critical thing to watch is, does the AOD get off? Looks like it was Sig hummed. Ellie of Lag almost going down immediately. We need to see the AOD get off anytime soon. Hopefully it wasn't stolen. Okay, it gets off now. Who is it on? I didn't see. Looks like it's on perhaps this Gust Ellie here. Assassin doesn't want to train them though, because Gust Ellies are not comfortable to train. And meanwhile, one of the Gust Ellies goes down. There's another Sig hum on the AOD. Brutal Sig hum combined with the 2 QA hexes and the Purge Signet. Yeah, there's AOD now on this Gust here. Combined with all the hex remove, it means that it's going to be very hard to get off the AOD train. It's working now though. Do we see... Okay, they take out the Ellie. There was no Purge conditions there. So one successful train. Who do they put the AOD back on? Is it the same target? Training out the Mez, so presumably not the same target again. Lag gonna pull back. If they can successfully pull back here without taking any more deaths, this is going to be huge for them, showing that they do have the ability to kill in the 8v8 engagement. It's a risky pullback though. Spirit Bond saves the assassin and gets the PNH to help him get out. Not that it does much though, as there's no snares out of HDM. It's all movement control from the knockdowns of the Gusts. And HDM happy to pull back and reset. So that engagement went the way of Lag, unlike the first one. It all seems contingent on whether the AOD can get off. Does it get stolen by the Dommez? Arcane Thievery? Is it able to get off through the Sig hum and all the hex remove? It's 2 Cure Hexes. You can see used 4 times on the 8 Monk of HDM. Cure Hex... hang on. 7 doesn't have Cure Hex. He brought Persian instead of Cure Hex. That does leave more of an opening for the AOD. Very interesting. Okay, you know why he doesn't have Cure Hex? Because he's got Vig Spirit, he's got Infuse for the possible Rip Paraspike that you might see on Druids sometimes. And he's got Purge Sig, and you can't take all 3 of those without dropping Cure Hex. So there is not as much Hex remove as you might hope for HDM when you're playing against AOD. So we saw a Sig hum there on the AOD as the engagement opened. Question is, can Lag survive long enough to get off an AOD? They cannot. Okay, now they get one off. It's probably on this Ellie here. He is going to run around till it wears off. Who's it on now? The number 2? Leech Sig on something. So AOD went off on the number 2 here of HDM, I believe, but it's too late. Too late. HDM just able to put out too much pressure, and Lag just too dependent on that permanently Sig hummed AOD. HDM takes the stand, and it's pure 8v8 dominance from this point. HDM capping the flag, 40 seconds to base res. HDM probably going to run a backup. Yep, going to run a backup, which means that they are going to pull out after they get the Knights down probably. Assassin hiding in the pit. Yep, pull back. Oh, it didn't run a backup flag. That is ballsy. I guess at this point they've got 10 kills, so it's a lot of DP on Lag. But because they didn't run a backup, they're going to posture in a forward position in front of Lag's base, which means that Lag is going to have to win the engagement in order to push HDM back in Kappa flag. There's no way that Lag is going to be able to run flag through HDM. Lag not going to take the engagement, going to give HDM the boost. Look for a engagement in more favorable positioning in their own base. Favorable positioning in their own base. No purge signet needed on the 7 monk of Lag, given they have PNH. Man, what a ballsy move to bring PNH on Druids. And so close to paying off. I wonder why HDM didn't bring AOD this one time. You know what would have been incredible? So OG had a better spec than PNH. OG we just saw had the RC. RC would have been better than PNH because at least you're not at a total loss if you're against a Dommez. It's not good to have RC against a Singus Dommez, but it's better than having PNH, that's for sure. So is he pensive, stability, prot D, no B stance, yeah, dismiss. Pretty standard otherwise in the current meta. Sig Rejuve, no infuse. No infuse on the 7 monk of Lag. Very confident that HDM was not going to play a Rip Paraspike of their own. Guess that makes sense that HDM 7 would have infuse, but Lag 7 wouldn't because Lag has been known to run 6 damage early spikes. I don't know whether they run Rit Para, but they've been running a lot of the Wounding Strike 6 damage spike lately. Wounding Strike with 4 invokes. Or 3 invokes and a Mind Burn. 8 of Lag. What's his bar? Aura Stability, Spirit Bond. Pretty standard. No dash. Dark Escape instead of dash, so speccing the AV8 hard. Yeah, draw conditions. Yep, so standard Singust 8 bar except for Dark Escape. I think dash is the meta on this 8 bar. But I could be wrong about that. It could be Dark Escape. 8 monk of HDM with 1 skill unused. No Spirit Bond used. That is very odd. Dismiss conditions, pensive, patient, or stab. That is really, really strange that the 8 monk of HDM has not used Spirit Bond. I believe that's strange, isn't it? Because I thought the way that monks play against Singust is 6 and the 8 both have Spirit Bond. They both pick each one frontline to follow, and they basically Spirit Bond more or less every target the assassin that they're following commits to. So he's obviously not doing that. He's spamming a huge amount of pensives. This is his most used skill next to Healing Burst. You know what? It's he can spam pensives all he wants because again he's against no interrupts. And you know what? Lag's assassins are not switching targets frequently. So the fact that you're casting 1 second pensives, I think pensives on a 4 second cooldown. Let's see. Pensive Guardian. Pensive Guardian, 5 second cooldown. So the fact that Pensive is on a 5 second cooldown is not really hurting him. That is really interesting. I'm learning a lot watching these games about the meta on the monk bars. Yeah, let's see the skill usage of the 6 monk. What's he doing a lot? A lot of Aura Faiths, a lot of draw conditions, a couple of Prot Ds, Aura, Shield of Absorption rather. A lot of pensives too, a lot of aura stabs. Not many spirit bonds either, so I guess maybe the meta is just not to use spirit bond. Because these two monks here, Rainy and Foresight, definitely know the way to play against Singust, and they're not spamming spirit bonds like I thought they would be. Maybe spamming spirit bonds was what you do when you have a Derv monk, because you can afford it with the energy. But you don't do it with a real monk on Prot. See what the 6 monk on lag has been doing with his skills. 13 spirit bonds, 5 Aegises. Whoa, not many pensive guardians. So first of all, he's not been interrupted at all, but regardless of that, he's not been using many pensive guardians. So look at this, 5 pensive guardians on this monk, on this Prot of lag. 18 pensive guardians on HDM's Prot. Huge difference there. So Sven, I believe this is Sven, this is Rodden. Sven using a lot of spirit bonds, few pensives. Rainy, a lot of pensives, few spirit bonds. See what Hit 'em Up is doing. I'm not sure who Hit 'em Up is. I don't recognize the character name. I recognize the character name, I just can't put it to a player name. So Guardians, 21 Guardians, 27 Heal Burst. That's closer to Foresight stats. Aura Stabilities, 19. Aura Stabilities, 20. So his stats are a lot closer to Foresight's than Sven's are to Rainy. Let's look at the 7 monk stats. So a lot of Vig Spirits, a couple of Guardians, Purge Signets, 2 Jaws, a lot of Heal Burst spam. So mostly Heal Burst spam out of the 7 monk of HDM. A good amount of Patient Spirits as well. Yeah, a lot of Vig Spirits out of Oko here. And lag. A lot more draw conditions. A lot more draw conditions. Quite a lot more. Look at that. 2 draw conditions out of the 7 of HDM. 16 draw conditions out of the 7 of lag. Maybe that's draining Oko's energy a lot. So does that mean that HDM is just not drawing any deep wounds? No, if they are, it's drawing on the Prot. 19 draws on the Prot of HDM versus, I guess this guy doesn't have, Sven doesn't have draw. He's got Dismiss 11 and PNH 13. So a lot of energy drained forced onto the 7 monk, perhaps by the Prot not having draw conditions. Seek of Rejuve though helping him out a bit. 26 healing bursts, 2 of them interrupted, 2 cancels, couple of QXs, a lot of patient spirits, more patient spirits because he's playing against a Dom Mez as opposed to an AOD. So yeah, the AOD not able to punish the huge heal burst spam. You see here 25 heal bursts on the 7 of HDM, 29 on the 8 of HDM, and like we mentioned before, a lot of pensives. Yeah, it's very different monk playstyle when you're not against a Domez, when you're against no interrupts literally. But a lot of entry move. Yeah, I guess that's why you don't use Spirit Bond because it gets stripped straight away. But you spam skills that would normally be erupted but cost less energy. Wise by HDM. But what else can we see? Who's been interrupted? Who's been interrupted on lag? No interrupts on the assassins. Couple of interrupts here. 2 interrupts on Rend. 1 lightning strike, 1 shock. On the other gust alley, 3 gusts, 1 rend, 1 whirlwind, 1 shock. So a few interrupts on the alleys, particularly on the gust of this number 4 alley. Only 1 interrupt on the Mez Rid of Lag, the AOD, and it was on Death Pact. Wonder how much fast casting Brent here has. Brent is Blood Red, Enigmatic Blood Red. We saw Maverick here in the semifinals when he was running AOD next have probably 14 or 15 fast casting. Wonder if Brent does similar. Two interrupts here on Healing Burst. So most of the interrupts being used on the Gust Alleys. And not much interrupt on here on Sven. Except for his Pensive Guardian, which is not using much. Interesting stats. So we've seen 5 kills by Mind Sanity. I'm not sure who this is. Is this Teddy or is this Teddy? We're 5 kills by the number 1 of HDM, 3 kills by the number 2. 2 by Candy Boy. Doing work on Gust. Let's look at the knockdowns actually. Should see who's being knocked down the most. 11 knockdowns on the number 1 of HDM, 12 knockdowns on the number 2. So knockdowns nice and evenly spread on HDM's assassins by the Gustellis of Lag. 10 on the Ellie Necro Don, 11 on Ellie Necro Candy Boy, 8 on Mesrit Maverick, 2 on Rainy, 1 on 7 Monk. I'm not sure who this is. 1 on Foresight on 8. On the other side, 17 KDs against Lag's number 1 assassin here. A lot more KDs than against HDM's assassins. This guy's been getting knocked down a lot. A lot of knockdowns as well on the number 2 assassin. It's more comparable with the other assassins of HDM, their knockdown stats. 19 knockdowns on Sven. Sorry, that's not Sven. That's who is that? Is that Kai? Anyway, 19 knockdowns on him, 7 knockdowns on the other one. So HDM is not spreading their knockdowns as evenly as Lag is. And they're getting a lot more knockdowns through. 10 knockdowns on Brent, 5 on Sven, 5 on Oko, 5 on Hit 'em Up. Part of that is probably because just HDM's had more offensive capacity. I mean, they've been wiping Lag at points. Lag's been on retreat, so naturally they're going to be knocked down a lot more. See, skill usage, 200 skills, over 200 skills used by number 2 here of HDM, nearly 200 by number 1, a lot less by the assassins of Lag, much less by the number 1 assassin of Lag, who's been knocked down the most. Yep, and we're just waiting for 28 at this point. No Vine Seeds capped. Vine Seed is left in its default position by Lag. Indicates that they hadn't fully game planned this out. Kind of like us in RJT. Vine Seed of HDM brought all the way into the back of their pit. Shows a little bit more planning. Also, I feel like just the way the monks have used their skills, the skill stats, shows a lot more planning by HDM. so surprised to see how few spirit bonds they've been using, and how many guardians and pensieves. But it just makes so much sense against the AOD. Also, when you have AOD, your assassins are probably pinballing a lot less, so you can afford to spam those guardians more. Okay, here we go. Lag making a move, bringing out the Vine Seed. What are they going to do? Cap their own? One of the moves you can make on Druids is give Vine Seed to one of your tanky characters, prod him heavily, give him a Gus, and have him run around here through the gutter. Cap your own Vine Seed to open up a path out of your own base. Dropping the Vine Seed, gonna give it to someone else. How does... This can't be right. There's no way that Candy has 400 HP. Yeah, this thing is totally busted. This health thing. Don't believe that. Also, if it's right, then this assassin is a sub rune, which doesn't make much sense to me. All the more reason to think that it's not right. Lag posturing up. Here we go. Who's got the Vine Seed? They just... Okay, number one's got it, and he's running it through to HDM's Vine Seed. Vine Bridge. Number 4 of Lag runs out the front door. Perhaps to cause a distraction or something, or who knows what. There's no Gustelli in range to support the run here of the Assassin of Lag, number 1. He's trying to get support. His prop monk goes down way in the back. Lag is getting stretched out over this positioning as the Gustelli goes rogue, runs all the way into HTM's front door. Kind of bizarre move by him. Perhaps he was trying to create a distraction, but it didn't work as he was ignored. Anyway, Lag goes in now, looks for NPCs, presumably, hoping to maybe die at an optimal time for the base res. Do they have a monk with them? They don't have a monk with them on the push here. They're going to struggle to get lore damage. They're going to try, but they're going to be hitting through Entourage. Assassin goes down before time. This one will be after time. Oh, so unfortunate with that death timing there. That's a pack kill. No, it wasn't a pack kill. Mesmer must have just gone down after time as well. So it's 2 dead after time for Lag. 26 minutes. They're going to struggle to find any lore damage. Meanwhile, HDM is up and full health, pushing into Lag's base. Taking it nice and slow. Probably waiting for their prot to arrive before they dive the pit. Got a minute and a half to get any lore damage. Lag's defense is 3 monks, 1 assassin. And it is definitely over for Lag. Not a chance from this position. Get a res off there on Brent. $83 damage shatter. What the hell is that? How is that such low damage on a shatter? What kind of spec is that? Shatter? Enchantment. 83 damage is 12 domination magic. This dude's literally running 12 domination magic. What even is that? That is so unorthodox. I mean, this must just be the way you play Mesmer now. This guy plays Mesmer more than anyone, Maverick. He knows better than anyone what to do. So he's got 12 domination magic when he's on Dom Mes. When he's on AOD, he's got 12 illusion. It's kind of wild to me. I mean, proof's in the pudding. He won the mat, so he knows best. Anyway, yep. So lag win the 28. Sorry, HDM win the 28. Lag without a chance. Gave it a good try though, and that was semis. No, that was quarters. That was quarters. So this next up was we've got Fist versus GG. We've got OG versus RJT. This was my guild, which I streamed. We're not going to obs that one because I don't want to see that. So we'll go to Fist versus GG. Fist versus GG. Another Singust mirror. Little bit different this time as you've got GG with the Rendellis and Fist with the Ellie Mesmers. What stance will it be? Probably Elemental Resistance, but we'll find out. Derv Monk for GG, Monk Warrior for Fist. So Prot Monk you would assume favors GG. Wonder if either of these teams have a Dom Mez or an AOD. Probably, yeah, Elemental Resistance is the stance. Probably AOD. I mean, Dom Mez rather. Out of these teams, I would guess. But we'll see. Vine Seed brought all the way back by GG, also all the way back by Fist, sorry. Here we go. Engagement begins. Instant KD there on the Sig Hum. No, cancelled. Brilliant. Sig Hum on the Gust. Here of Fist. Other Gust interrupted. Domez of GG doing work here against the Gust Ellies. I don't know if it was interrupted or stolen. PI there. On the air attunement. Oh my god, that's brutal. Sikama on the 7 monk. Playing a bit more aggressive now. Arelli here, Luke casting without his attunement. GG's under huge pressure though. GG playing all out aggressive. 8 monks under pressure from an assassin. 7 monks also under pressure from the same assassin. Other assassin bounty is linebacking a Gust. Hits a KD, gets a stab after it. Probably calling for a rend here. Conch just went up. Actually, he doesn't have rend, so he can't be calling for one. And GG is looking very unstable. Despite having the Derv Monk on Prot. Linebacking by Wild Strike. Coach conditions on the 8. Still Prot D or a Faith. We'll see the skill usage on the Prot Monks afterwards. See if it's anything like the HDM versus lag game. Fist pushing through. Tumen is now up on Luke here. GG, full retreat, still under a huge amount of pressure, at risk of dying after 2 minutes and getting 4-minuted. Assassin goes down there. Mesrit, not in range to pact, not willing to push out to do it. Resting almost gets off but gets knocked down. Ellie caught out in front. GG falling apart. Fist is too fast paced. GG have to survive as long as they can to avoid getting 4-minuted. It takes 30 seconds to kill the Lord from this point, so if Fist want to end it before 4, they have to be on the Lord by 3:30 with no monks up. Fist not going for the Lord, taking down pit NPCs. Pushing the tempo. Larceny steals from the Mesmer of Fist. GG pushed all the way back into their pit, losing knights, losing archers. Only bodyguard left. Fist pull out. Didn't even cap a flag. And Fist will safely reset in a dominant position. GG now going to be forced to push out into them, having lost their pit. They cannot sit here until 28. They have to find something. The only thing going for them right now is that Fist have yet to cap a flag. So GG can try another engagement. They only took 2 deaths miraculously. Hard to believe that they only took 2 deaths, but they lost their whole pit for it. So GG is going to have to be successful in this next engagement. Fist is going to take it in a favourable position as GG push around the bend. Fist pursuing. 8 monk exposed a little bit. Pulls back. GG pushing back in again. Turn around by Fist. No AOS on the assassin yet. There it is. Oh! Ellie almost goes down immediately. Ren there on an assassin of Fist. GG's in retreat again. Taking off the Woda with the Wild Strike. Assassins line back in each other. No AOS on GG's assassin. And GG once again taking too much pressure, going to be forced to pull back. Look at that, huge damage taken, not enough prots coming out. And GG losing frame. Ellie's caught out in front, probably going to go down. Gonna base res though. Fortunate timing for the wipe. If they don't take a death after time, they're at risk of it. Hopefully their Derv Monk here, their prot has energy to sustain. Using Eremites. Spirit Bond unfortunate. After the assassin had already switched target. And GG still... They're still playing aggressively. They're still looking for kills. Fist trying to pull out of this awkward choke point. Find a kill on the overextended assassin. Just get out of the choke point with the PI on the Gust Ellie that was ready to gust all of Fist players. And now Ellie goes down again. There's a 45 DP on the Ellie. And that'll probably be it for GG. Too much DP. A minute to base res, 3 players down, already in their base, pit wiped. Let's take a look at the monk stats before we're kicked out of the game. So 16 Aura Faiths on Fist Prot, 2 Shielding Hands, so not rating Shielding Hands for this matchup. A lot of Pensive Guardians, no interrupts on him. Couple dismissed, a lot of Aura Stab, no Spirit Bond, so I guess no Spirit Bond is the way to play this as a Prot. Derv Monk of GG, let's see, 70 Life Sheaths, huge Life Sheath spam, 18 Aura abilities, 5 Ages, 4 Spirit Bond, also not spamming Spirit Bond despite being a Derv Prot, using a lot more Shield Guardians, not nearly as many Guardians as the Prot of Fist. Just jump around to these stats for anyone who wants to pause the video to look at them. But yeah, not the best looking stats there on the Derv Prot of GG, I assume. It's hard to judge just looking at stats because it doesn't account for how much they're being camped by Mesmers, for instance, or knockdowns or anything else when you're just looking at the stats of their skill bar alone. But yeah, not looking so good for Derv Monk stats, in my opinion. A lot of Life Sheaths. but not many Guardians. So that was the quarterfinals of Fist versus GG. Fist 1 progressed to the semis. Again, we're going to skip this one. We'll see next ZQ versus Keeper. Semifinals. Druidzal. Last match of the semifinals. ZQ with... Oh, was that a split? Ellie Monk. So some kind of Singust. I don't know if it's a split Ellie or an 8v8 Ellie, but it's 2 assassins, 1 definite Gust. Bring the seed back to his pit. And Derv Prot out of ZQ. Monk Prot out of Keeper. 3 Monk Warriors. Possibly 3 Prot Ds. Big spec against the Singust. Got 2 Ellie Mesmers, probably with elemental resistance. So Keeper came ready with a specialized spec against the Singust. They've got defense probably on 5 or 6 out of 8 of their characters, with either enhanced armor or with blocks. The Keeper came prepared. Conjure Flame, Conjure Frost. Elemental resistance, not used here yet. On the number 3 there, not used on the Mesmer either. Assassin jumps in a little early, nearly goes down for it. Okay, double elemental resistance used. Keeper already taken some big damage there. We'll see, do we have Wild Strike? We do have Wild Strike here. On the number 1 is EQ, Wild Strike. Oh, 6 Monk goes down super fast. Double Wild Strike out of ZQ. That's going to make the elemental resistance not as powerful. Keeper very balled up for their Prot Ds. Dangerous positioning. Prot D there used by the 6. No way to remove it. Sprint. Wonder, does he have Prot D? Oh. 5 Mesmer goes down. So it's 1 death on the 6, 1 death on the 5. It is a Gust here on the emo, it's just a bait that he's slash monk. Not actually a monk. Not able to res. We have res sigs? No, we've got 8 skills. 7 skills, 1 unused. 8 skills on this Gust, so if there's a res sig, it's on this guy, and he has yet to use it. It's going to be a base res on the Mesmer. And yet it's ZQ who seems to be pulling back. Pulling back probably to run a flag, as somehow Keeper have the flag capped. And ZQ do not have a flag, so despite the kills, it's actually Keeper that are in an advantageous position here. Due to the flag. Elemental resistance immediately taken off. I wonder if elemental resistance is even worth it. I feel like maybe Prot D would be better. But maybe not, because you have to move a lot as a touch guster. ZQ unable to disengage and run their flag. They're going for it now. Or they're thinking of going for it on this Gust alley. There's the boost for Keeper. Keeper is looking too unstable though. Almost take a death there on the prod again. Keeper now fighting an 8v7. Still almost losing their prod again in the 8v7 as Jorn, the number 4 of ZQ on Gust, is running a flag out. If ZQ can manage to get this flag in, then it's not looking good for Keeper at that point. Sig Rejuve. Flag cap coming through. Keeper not able to stop it. Keeper at risk of going down. Take a death there on the number 4. risk of going down during the flag run. Essentially a character up, a player up in this engagement. There's the flag cap, and ZQ is rolling all over keeper at the moment. Seems like there's just nothing that keeper can do, just way too unstable in this engagement. Keeper bringing the flag up on their mez, but they've taken a death on the assassin, and I doubt they have the ability to run this flag in without full wiping. Here's a pact, gets off, assassin's back up, but still no way to run this flag in. Gust saves the assassin number 1 that was res, is now retreating. 7 monks got some forward positioning there, starts pulling back. And there's the pact kill on the assassin, number 1. No 8th skill used on the prot. Seven monk goes down, base res in 10. There's the base res. Assassin is stuck. Locked in by the Gust Alley. 8 monk if keeper goes down. Assassin's still blocked in. There we go. Gust Alley gives him a little bit of space there. Assassins linebacking each other. ZQ pulling back. See the Gustelli bars. We've got probably Resig on Mice and Gods here. I believe that's Zarin. Old school player from back in the day. ZQ, an old school American guild. Whirlwind, Lightning Strike. No Shock Arrow. Poor energy management on his bar. Perhaps one of the reasons why ZQ has been pulling back so much. Anyway, pullback seems to work spectacularly for ZQ as half of Keeper is dead. The base res. Yeah, so Lightning Strike, no Shock Arrow. He slashed Monk, so no Arrow Mites. Also, no Shock Arrow on Jorn here, the other Gust Alley of ZQ either. So very poor energy management on these bars. But added defense with the Whirlwind and just added defense. This one is Lightning Strike. What's this one got instead of? Right, so this one Lightning Strike instead of Rend. drawn here Rend instead of Lightning Strike, and both of them with SIGs. So a bit of added defense and added damage at the cost of energy management. Made only possible by Reforged, giving you an extra energy on your 5 energy skills on attunement. See the stats on the Gustellis of Keeper. Got Whirlwind, Elemental Resistance, Lightning Strike. Also no Shock Arrow. Both teams running without Shock Arrow. Got Shock Arrow on this second Gustelli. No res. Interesting, the teams are favouring the Lightning Strike over the Shock Arrow or the res. I mean, this one's not actually. This one's favouring Shock Arrow over the res. But yeah, interesting. Interesting prioritization on the bars. Just going to click through the monk stats quickly for anyone who wants to screenshot them to take a look themselves. So yeah, game went to ZQ and they advanced on to the semi-finals. So that's it for the quarterfinals games. Next up is the playoffs, and there are a lot of them, so I don't know if I'm going to get to them all. First up, HDM versus Apes. Playoffs on Uncharted. There were a lot of guilds this map. It was a 6-rounder, so I think there was 33 guilds, 32 is the cutoff for 6 rounds. Which I don't know if there was 33, maybe there was more than that. But anyway, so it was 6 rounds, which put Uncharted on the playoffs, and a lot of guilds didn't make it to the elims, which is rare these days. You actually had to fight to keep your position in an elim. Some of the guilds that went 3-3 didn't make it. So you've got Apes with Necro Balance. Got Rudy here. A Necro, solid Necro player. HDM though, with the Singus Shell, double LE splits. A monk out the back at the start. So solo Necro will run face first into 2 LEs and a monk, which he has no hope in fighting. Necro is probably going to be very useless this game, as he can't really run flags very safely against the Singust main. He can't 1v1 or 2v2 or 3v3 any of these LE combinations. Maybe he can 1v1 a fire LE. I don't know, I haven't seen that matchup in so long. Taking a lot of damage though. Already. Risk going down there. Engaging a bit early. Rend on the Ranger is a lot more of a stable matchup. Rend Ranger with lightning armor, quite nice against split LEs. Feels very safe to play. Often loses the matchup anyway, but it does feel nice. Nicer than the Necro does. Positioning though from Apes is extremely dangerous. 8 Monk is exposed to the damage, means that the LEs have 3 targets to go between, especially 2 very squishy targets. So the 8 Monk will not be able to Spirit Bond everything, will run out of energy quickly, and Ape Split will most likely go down. As the 8 Monk runs out of energy to Spirit Bond. Not going down yet though, and the longer this engagement goes, the LEs will run out of energy eventually too, because they're fighting against a lot of enchant remove. Strip from the Necro. Oh, hang on, I got the Necro's bar completely wrong. It's actually a... No, I didn't get it wrong, sorry. I thought that was life transfer, it's life siphon. No, it is life transfer, it is life transfer. Okay, I did get the Necro bars wrong. He's running life transfer, which is an Omega 1v1 bar that kind of sucks. But it is cool. So Necro, not very useful at all, I think, this game, but very stylish. Probably, or maybe does better 1v1 against the LEs if they have Spirit Bond especially. Necro bars a huge amount of degen. Anyhow, Apes somehow manages to push HDM back into their base. I guess another difference is that he's got additional healing so he can tank some more damage from the LEs of HDM. Is that part of the idea behind this? So HDM push back on the split side. I've been ignoring the main because the split is so interesting to me. At the main team, Ape 7 Monk just goes down right now. HDM have the flag capped and are showing dominance in this 5v5. Apes have a Grenth, Warrior, and Mesmer. And are, yeah, taking a lot of damage here. Grenth at risk of dying, and does. Interesting that HDM's not able to dominate the split. It's actually Apes that are winning this on split, funny enough. So all that talking I did about how good the Ellies are in these combinations, Apes actually winning it. Although not able to get any NPCs down yet. Packed kill on the Granth Derv, he is 30 TP. HDM pulls out the front door and resets. Does not want to risk possible collapse. And base res. Necro collapses. Ranger and Monk going to defend 2v3. One of the options you have when you have a Ranger. The Ranger, if the Ellies have energy though, will lose this matchup. I shouldn't say will. I should say should lose this matchup, or generally does lose this matchup. Doesn't lose it immediately though. The Monk and Ranger don't lose immediately because the Ranger is very tanky and can slow down the onslaught of the Ellies. Apes doing this to get a player advantage main. Nope, now they go back on split with a Hammer Warrior, keep the Necro main. I wonder what the idea behind that is. So Necro main won't add as much as a Hammer Warrior does in a straight up team fight. But if he manages to get out of his base, he does offer an interesting way to push footmen and run flags. Yeah, anytime this Dervish commits, the Assassin's going to turn around on him and try and catch him out. 8 Monk of Apes goes down on split. Warrior going to go down too, so HCM finally wins the split engagement. Granth Dervish forced to tuck tail and run. And things are not looking so good for Apes. One knight down. Split looking for the archer. Split in a precarious spot here, risking being collapsed on top of. Dodges the Mel shot there. Can I dodge the Harriers too? Not needed. 8 Monk manages to connect. Oh, almost goes down in the process. Dervish goes down of Apes. Split Ellies are machine gunning down everyone that Apes has nearby. And a very risky connection by HDM, but it does pay off. For now, at least. Opens up the front door of Apes. Apes manage to sneak out the Granth Derv. Necro with the flag. HDM's going to have to reset. They're keeping an Ellie in the base to harass the pit. Archer is pushed forwards. Look at that. It's the air Ellie in the base. Granth Derv pushing hard, front door, looking for pin NPCs maybe. Looking for something impactful, immediately collapsed by Fire Rally and Mesmer. He's going to have to run through the pit to survive. Let's see if he can dodge the pin downs. He's got to dodge the body block from the Knights and the pin downs from the Archers. Can he do it? Nope, eats one. Eats one. Can remove one. He's going to eat a long-term burning though because of it. And the burning... Oh, dodges that one, but has to run back into the range of the alley to do it. Yep, that's a downside of having Harry's grasp in the Harry's haste in the GvG, by the way. Is you are slower than if you brought Whirling Charge. If you had Whirling Charge, you could have potentially escaped because it's a lot faster than the Fire Rally. But with Harry's haste, he's not. Also eating the pin down, forcing him to use the Harry's grasp early. and then not being able to use it for the Mind Burn. But I think he would have been dead anyway because he's just too slow. Mind Shock harassing Guild Lord, 8 defending. Yeah, looks like HDM was able to clean up on the Apes escapees. Necro and Ranger pushing out the air rally. Support coming from the 8 Monk and the Fire Rally. Little engagement here. Big heals on the Necro. Rendies by the Ranger. Fire Rally almost here. No 8 Monk support from Apes. So split of Apes is going to retreat. Flag run. Yeah, gonna have to drop that. No chance he's getting that through. Dervish very scared to engage, and rightly so. He's taken 4 deaths, so he's nearly 60'd at this point. 3-man split of HDM, going to connect through. Pincer on top of Apes. Apes encircled. Enveloped. In big trouble. Flag run. Desperation flag run. Just an assassin immediately on top of it. No prison break this time for Apes, as they're taking deaths everywhere. 30 seconds to base res, but at this point HGM is far too dominant in the 8v8. And there's way too much DP on Apes. Grenth Derv makes a run for it. Guild Lord is looking dead. So playoffs game goes to HDM, of course. HDM who ended up winning the map. Next up, playoffs game between Lag and Awesome. Awesome, a nice, strong European guild. Lag, also a strong European guild. These are some old guilds that have come back since Reforged. Used to play against them a lot in the early 2010s. Lag was at one point, for many years, the dominant guild. For those who don't know. They're the best European guild, well the best guild period in the game for a long time. Were very solid, very difficult to defeat, had a very strong roster, had all the best builds. Kind of like Fist is now, but perhaps even more dominant. So this game running Singust on Uncharted. 2 Gust Ellies with a Rend. Monk Warrior on Prot. Awesome, on the other hand, running something strange looking. They got 2 Ellies out the back door with Mesmer secondaries and an 8 Monk. So some kind of split build here. Not an 8 Monk, it's an 8 Monk on 6, which is an awesome special. The only guild that does that. It's always nice to see. I think it's a Jonas thing, his key bindings. Jonas is Saint Ania. His key bindings are set up to have the 8 Monk on 6. And for 15 years, he has been steadfast, unwilling to change that. Anyway, it's cool to see a different order of the party. Mixes it up a little bit. Adds a bit of confusion. So we're going to see a 3v3 backdoor. We see a flag run by Awesome with their Lisa Dervish. So Awesome have a Lisa, a Balth, and a Mez Assassin at main. Awkward engagement by Awesome here. The Ellies are pretty close to each other. Assassin's pinballing between them. Only one Spirit Bond, most likely, if he even has it, on the 8 Monk of Awesome. Ellie's relying on the Elemental Resistance to reduce the damage. This one didn't even use Elemental Resistance. Does he even have it? First one did, second one didn't even use it. But the alley's definitely way too close to each other, and without the monk skills, unable to support themselves. Too much pressure put on the 8 monk on 6. The 6-8 monk. Anyway, Lag wins the 3v3 engagement, and Lag's number 8 monk goes to run a second flag. Or I guess not second flag at this point, but a next flag. Lag looking at front door footman. Lisa Dervish of Awesome running flag, perhaps not so happy that his split has died for him to just run flags. And now Split Alley's gonna give it another go. Very difficult engagement for those Split Alleys without their own Spirit Bond. Especially if they take it into choke points, so we'll see if they switch up their engagement this time. Lisa Dervish trying to have an impact on flag path, but gonna be difficult against a Mesmer and a Gust Alley. Bow Party. So no Lisa's haste. Early engagement. No, not an early engagement. It's just, I don't know what's happening here. It's like Lag's 2-man split routed out Awesome's 3-man split. As Lag's 8th man was on the way. Or 3rd man, who is the 8, is on the way. Ellie's of Awesome collapsed to the 8v8. Rend here. So now it's an 8v8 engagement, which is very risky for Awesome considering Lag have a full sinker setup. And Awesome's under a lot of pressure at the moment. Ren's spam on the Ellies, or on the Fire Ellie that's still here. Air Ellie's made a run for it. Fire Ellie will be lucky if he makes it out of this. He's got to run back. He's going to have to run the long way if he wants to split. Lag is 2 on top of the position. Lag though, without a flag, going to run now on the 8. He's going to have to pass to someone else. It will be the Gust Ellie, as 8 will probably go back to defend this Mind Shock. Awesome's Balth running out into no man's land. Pays for it with his life. And that's after time, and that will be the only pact, the only res whatsoever on Awesome's team. So he's down for a minute and a half. Lisa running the backup, but there's already a flag. Okay, there's not already a flag in as Lag overcaps. But that's the unfortunate thing about Elisa in a game like this, is all he can do is run flags. And so when the flag running is not of high impact, he doesn't add much to the game. Monks of Awesome now going down. One of them does. Other 2 at high risk of it. Actually, Lag turns around. Doing a big collapse on the Fire Ellie in the back door. Got 1 assassin, 1 Gust coming from behind. Mesmer, Gust from the front. Runs through the pit. Let's see, how does he do with the pin downs? Dodges the pin downs. Fake through the pit, turns around, runs behind. At risk of going down after time. Flag saves him. I mean, he's definitely dead. The question is just whether before or after, and he decides before. So that's the 2nd death on the number 1 Ellie. Only 1 death on the number 2 Ellie. Flag cap out of the Gust of Lag. Gust number 4, Shadow. Two Ellie is looking for the split again. It's the only thing they can do, unfortunately, because if they even try to 8v8, their main team will just get annihilated by the 2 assassin, 2 gus combo that Lag has. So Split Ellie's put in an unfortunate position where they're just forced to kind of sit out backdoor and wait. They can't win the 2v2, they can't win a 3v3. They just have to be patient and wait. 8 monk on 6 of awsm coming back with a 3v3. And what can awsm even do? You see the Lisa Derv trying to hold frame at the flag stand again, but just going to be 2-man flag run, and nothing Lisa can do. awsm main team trying to punish the solo 7 monk at main. Not enough power though, prop monk connects. It's a good try. Good try by awsm, but they're going to need to have success. Good try isn't enough. Open 3v3 engagement here. A lot of balling up by awsm. On the run, Dark Escape popped on 6. Unfortunate guardian on himself after the assassin switches. Rend on the Ellie here. Pinballing to the other Ellie. There's no way that awsm can stand up in this engagement, and what's that, 45 DP on the number 1 Ellie. Yeah, these split Ellies need to cool off and just chill and stall, because awsm's main team did a good job there trying to catch the 7 monk out. Lisa pushing the flag, forcing the prop monk to support the flag run, making the 7 monk solo against the Balth and the Mez. Oh, it's an AOD Mez as well. So if the split of awsm can just hold and not get 60'd, then awsm's main team is showing that they are trying to look for positions. They are looking for win conditions. Without a flag now though, it's not going to be possible. Looking for footmen, sacking flag for footmen, but their base is going to get roasted. Not even able to get the footman down. Base of awsm getting cooked. Bodyguard close to going down. Having said that, Lag split here is taking a lot of damage in the process. Fire Rally teeing off. Lag split actually forced to pull back. Oh, you know why? Because the AOD just got here. Collapse by the Lisa. I don't know who this Lisa is, but he is doing well this game, given the difficult positions awsm is placed in. He's doing well with his flag running. He is finding openings at the flag stand, trying to collapse through center. So whoever this guy is, he's doing a good job. Also, interestingly, restore condition on the prop of awsm. Something we've only seen so far out of OG in this tournament. Deep Wind on the AOD. I guess that pairs well with the Lisa, who himself cannot take Deep Wind. Gonna lose a knight. Gonna lose the Balth probably. Not yet. Only 2 monks up. 2 Ellies splitting, defended by a single monk. This is probably it for Lag. I mean for awsm. The Lag defending 1v2. And about to close out the game. Tough matchup for awsm to fight in the playoffs. Once again, with all of these guilds that came back for Reforged, this is a very competitive mat. This is a matchup that you usually see in the quarters or semis, or maybe even the finals. I guess quarters or semis more likely. So to see it in the playoffs is quite a treat. Alright, next up we got Rook. Hang on, did I miss a game? No, I didn't. Okay, next up we got Rook versus Keeper. Rook versus Keeper. Rook with the triple melee, double mez. Balanced. Keeper with the Sin Gust. Full-blown Sin Gust. We saw in the quarterfinals, Keeper struggle against ZQ in the Sin Gust mirror. This time they don't have the mirror, they're fighting against Balanced. Rook an American guild, Keeper a French guild. Dev Prot on Rook, so he's ready for the Sin Gust. Monk Prot on Keeper. Double Rens. But I didn't mention that already. Keeper running straight through the water, making a beeline towards Rook's front door. Rook opting to not run the flag in. Give up footman immediately, splitting the Lisa at the back. 8 of Rook goes back to defend. Unfortunate that Rook was not able to cap the flag before pulling back. Big shutdown on this Gustelli and this Gustelli. It's a race between whether Keeper can kill before the Gustellis are shut out of the game by the Mesmers. Irresistible sweep, by the way, on the Balth Dervish of Rook instead of Kripzig. Big P-Leak. Attunement gets off, covered. Keeper's under a lot of pressure now. Gustellis have been eating a lot of the shutdown. Not able to put out much pressure on the Rook, and it feels like Keeper's gonna have to pull back. Rook taking some damage now. Some line backing out of the warrior. Not always advisable against Singust. And Rage Smash, not coward. Interesting as well. Lisa Dervish takes out the Knights. And this is where, if you're Rook, you want to have the flag capped, so that you can recover from these engagements. That's what these Ellie bars are. Got Lightning Strike, Shock, Lightning Touch. No Shock Arrow, which means that this Ellie will be completely shut out if he keeps being camped by the Mesmer Shutdown. Energy Denial. See, he's casting without attunement, so he is going to be out of mana. Shock Arrow on this one, so he can recover a little bit better. He's casting on Shield Set. He's got attunement up as well. So at least one of the Ellie bars can handle the shutdown a little bit. Rook getting pushed back. Both Knights pulled. Critical moment for Rook. Can they defend themselves with the Knights? This is it. Assassin on the Knights. Both Knights receiving Guardian. Rook's Baltdev pushed up, getting trained out by the other Assassin. Keeper forgoes the Knights for now, pulls back a bit, still line backing on the Balth. Okay, Rook able to defend their Knights, put out a lot of pressure on Keeper. Keeper close to going down. Assassin goes down for keeper. First blood. Second blood. Other assassin goes down. Keeper not enjoying this engagement. First assassin goes down again. Probably too soon to receive DP. And Rook now pushing. Taking the flag on the 8 monk. Got to be careful they don't over push. So we won't get too much from this before they have to pull back. Pulling back now. Rook not giving up much ground. They are playing very risky here. The 8 monk is running a flag. Mesmer is caught up a little bit. It's going to be probably 10, 20 seconds, 15 seconds before that 8 monk reaches main. 15 seconds from here. Very ballsy move by Rook. Bad start to the engagement. They're taking a lot of pressure here. Baltov goes down. Huge mistake by Rook to take this engagement early. Not able to get the Baltov back up yet. Mesmer wants to stay in range to pact him, but he's going to be forced to pull back. One of the gusts of Keeper goes back to run flag. And 15 DP on the Baltov is not good. Baltov stacks up DP very quickly. Once he gets cracked a little bit with the 15, it becomes exponentially easier to kill. And without the Baltov, there's also minimal pressure on Keeper. Nothing to stop them from pulling the Knights now. Except for the fact that they're missing their second Gastelli, who temporarily went to defend the base against Elisa, wasted some time, and the Mesmer actually went down of Keeper against the solo front. And Rezig already not used because he doesn't have it. Hang on, neither of the Ellies have Rezig. So the only res that Keeper has is on the Pact, who is now dead. So very fortunate for Rook they're able to get that kill. Perhaps a bit of divine intervention there. Keeping their Knights alive and forcing Keeper back. So flag cap finally out of Keeper. Gastelli's here at main. Another engagement without the full team of Rook. Baltov of Rook now going to cap a flag. Assassin of Keeper trying to intercept. His Gastellis are not close enough though. Mesmer of Keeper has the backup flag, so even if this cap gets in, which it will, there should be an overcap soon. He's got to be supported though by the monks and the Gastellis. Warrior hits the hammer bash on the assassin. Assassin risking going down. 7 monks in range. Not able to save the assassin in time. Use Vig Spirit perhaps instead of draw. Assassin goes down. Need to see a pact. Do we see it? Nope. Here we go. There's a pact. He gets off. Assassin's back up. Flag cap by Keeper. Now Rook is in big trouble if they can't finish this wipe. Looks like Keeper's recovered. Rook's in a very difficult position to fight in and actually get the pack kill. They're on the assassin. Saves them in this engagement. Now it's Keeper that's pulling back. Boosting in a minute 30. It's time for Rook to run a flag now on the 8 monk. He's going for it. Very nice play by Rook. They're walking a tightrope here against Singust. They have to make sure they don't engage again without their 8 monk. Their 8 monk is going to run a flag, so they've got to be very careful they don't get CC'd and stuck in an engagement without him. Okay, Rook take the footman. He decrypt there, maybe? No. And pull back. No backup flag by Rook, so flag cap out of Keeper is going to put Rook on the back foot again. If Keeper all run to the flag stand now, cap as a team, It's going to be their initiative. Double run now to Rook's Warrior. What's Keeper going to do? Not capping the flag yet. Just going to try and intercept at the front of Rook's base. It means our Rook is not on much of a timer. All they need to focus on right now is getting in a good open position where they can defend themselves. Yeah, almost lose the mez there. Running the flag through unnecessarily. Didn't realize perhaps. Oh no, hang on. It's the Gust running the flag here, but Rook's in this awkward position here between their front door and the bridge to the flag stand. A position in which they will take a lot of damage against assassins, which they do, and the Mesmer goes down. See, a pack gets off from the Dervish, but Rook's now in a precarious position. Overcap on the Warrior up the top, but he needs to come back to main if he can. Unless he can kill the Gust Ellie, but he shouldn't be able to. Maybe... I mean, he's got Enraged Smash, so he shouldn't be able to. Oh, hang on. Assassin went down of Keeper. This game is back and forth. Rook with the flag capped. All of their players are up. They've got an aggressive position here. Assassin number 2 taking lots of damage. Rook is going to push their advantage. So now Rook don't have a backup flag, but they're all here. Just had a base res out of Keeper, so another critical moment for both teams. Does Rook hold frame and try and stop a flag run? Or do they pull back and run a backup flag? They're going to hold frame. Here's a flag run. Critical flag run by Keeper. If they can get this in without dying, it's going to put Rook on a timer again. But without dying are the operative words here. Keeper are doing this with only 2 monks and 2 Gust Ellies to support. You're able to get it in a moment, almost there. Hammer Bash, 7 monks in range. Okay, there's the flag cap. So now Rook's on a timer. They have to find kills soon, otherwise a full retreat over the choke point of the bridge. So this is a potential game-losing position for Rook to be in. Hang on, they are running flag. They're running flag on the Balturv. And they're pushing... Oh, Lisa, what are you doing? Giving Keeper a free flag run by chasing the A-Mug. Huge mistake there by the Lisa Derv. So Rook's now running flag here on their Balth. They're saving themselves from the timer, but they've got to get through this engagement alive, and it's going to be close. A very difficult flag run on the Balth here. Eating a lot of KDs, gets the AOS now. It's pretty late though. Extremely difficult position for Rook, but they managed to somehow get this flag in. Incredible play. This Dervish has got to get back. He's at risk of dying here. Putting his team under a huge amount of pressure by not pulling back immediately. Trying to hold frame against the assassin. So now Rook with the flag. If they can manage to pull back and keep a run, then they can save themselves a little bit. Especially if someone runs through the front right now and returns that flag. Not going to be in time though, as Assassin is going to go grab it. Oh, hang on. They're going for it. They're going for it. It's a race to the flag. And Rook wins it. So now Keeper in a little bit of trouble. Oh no, Balturv. Okay, good. Doesn't look for a play front door. Smart move. That would have been potential suicide. But Rook should consider engaging right now. While Keeper have to run the flag. They look a bit sheepish. They're going for a backup flag. I don't know about that. Perhaps just, I don't know, not wanting to... Oh, no, hang on. He's back now. Okay, he's back. Not going for the backup. They are going to push their advantage. This is it. If they can get a bit more DP onto these assassins that have already stacked up some, it's four deaths on assassin number 1, 3 deaths on assassin number 2. They just need a couple more kills before these assassins are 60 and cannot play at all. They do get the kill on the number 2 assassin. Huge kill. And Rook is finally finding their feet in this game, their advantage. Finally finding themselves ahead. Looking for that kill on the number 1. See the huge damage out from the Suprune Mesmers. 16 domination magic, 106 damage on Shatter. Rook now got to be a little bit careful. Could consider pulling back a bit. They're taking 2 archers on them. This is extremely aggressive position they're taking. They could just pull back, accept the boost, and reset. But they're gonna stick it here. High risk engagement for Rook. Very high risk engagement for Rook. A little bit of split brain. Lisa joins the engagement. It's an 8v8 now. Definitely favors Keeper. The only thing Rook have going for them in this engagement is the big DP on the assassins, but it's 3 monks. Okay. Lisa resplits. 3rd monk goes back to defend. Rook's already under a huge amount of pressure though. Was not a good engagement for them to take. The 8v8 pushed up like that with archers on them. With the pit to keep us back. Mesmer of Rook goes down. Pack trying to get out. KD'd on it. No pack. Mesmer's dead for 45 more seconds. Rook in big trouble now. Boost in 40 though. If they can survive a little bit longer, there shouldn't be enough time for Keeper to end it, but I think they do have to survive for another 10 seconds or so. They try and avoid stacking up DP if they can. And how much of their pit are they going to lose for this too? So just that tightrope that Rook are walking this game against the Singust. So difficult to win with trip melee double mez against Singust. Just make any mistake and you get instantly punished for it. They lose knights, but they will base res. Keeper without a flag will probably have to pull back and reset. They're at risk of losing the assassin here. He goes down after time. They have to get this res off. This is a critical res. Okay. Surely they have to push in and try and get this res off. I mean, it would be a pact on a 60 DP'd assassin after time, which itself is not good. They do get the res off, but Rook is hunting that assassin down. Not able to get him yet. High stakes engagement here. Both teams have to win it. Someone's gonna pop. Rook is close to taking deaths. Warrior's low. Warrior goes down. Mesmer, Rit. If he goes down, it's going to be hard to get the pact off. Pact ruptured on the Dervish. Only res left right now is on the Mez Rit. He's been pushed back out of range. Trying to push back in range to pact. He's got to get this off. There's no Aegis for it. Gets it off. And now Rook has to find a way to survive and put out a lot of pressure quickly. They can do it. They're in the pit. They've been boosting, so this is an opportunity. But if they lose this engagement, it could be game. Lose the prop monk there. It's going to be 30 seconds to base res, 25 to base res. Packed on no health. Just get him up in time, but... Archers are in play. Assassin looking for one of them. Gets it very quickly. Balth Dervish close to going down. Other archer. Got to not take it after time death. After time deaths. Could take Rook out of this game. Second archer goes down. Rook now without a pit. And Keeper retreats. Whew, so close for Rook. Just hanging on there. Thankfully for them, boosting. You can see the DP wiggling back and forth here between the deaths and the boosts. Keeper not bothering to run a flag now. They're confident in the 8v8 engagements. They've worked off a bit of the DP. They're running a flag now. And Rook is shook. All it took was that one bad push here for them to get wiped all the way back into their own base. And lose almost their entire pit. And at risk of losing the game. Rook now splitting a meze, or considering it. Flag cap by Keeper, now Rook's in real trouble. Now Rook is in serious trouble. Running flag out on the Baltov. Do they still have it in them though? Baltov turns around. Rook almost taking a death there on the Mesrit. 7's extended. Gal spam on the 8. Yeah, Rook pushed back into their base. Keeper now with the flag. Capped, boosting in a minute 30. Rook is on a serious timer. They have to find a way to wipe Keeper, but the first thing they have to do is get down the Ellie's energy yet again after Keeper has reset. So it takes a long time for Rook to get going in his engagements because it requires shutting down the Ellie's. Warrior goes down in the meantime. Rook is just running on empty at this point. Both packs are out. Both packs are out. And Warrior's going to be dead for a while longer. Gives Keeper time to tee off. Pack coming. Mesrit goes down. Pack gets off on the Warrior. But Rook just has nothing left. They're just not able to put out a single lick of pressure on Keeper. Got 2 players down, a minute to base res. And that's got to be it. That's got to be it for Rook. Singust is just too powerful against Trip Melee double mez. They've been walking the tightrope, but they've finally fallen off. And fallen to their deaths and elimination in this tournament. So well done to Keeper. Not typically a Singust guild, more of a old school balanced, necro balanced guild. So did well to pull off a Singust victory. Next up, we have Negative Role Models versus the Bouncers. The playoffs game. Sorry, just a moment. Whoops. Okay, Negative Role Models. Top European guilds. Great in AV8, not the best in the split play and macro. Split macro. And BCS. Very old school American guild. I mean, not American. European guild. Famous for their water rally balance back in the day. Running necro balance now. A little bit more viable than the water balance. However, still an outdated build. Trip Melee double mez should make quick work of this, generally speaking. Lisa though, gonna run into a Necro, which he cannot beat. Baltov for BCS looking for Footman at the start. Gonna find him quickly. Question is, does he die for them? Or does he pull back? Meze. Oh, backfire, Meze. Not running the regular Mind Rack ESOG burn, Meze bar. So, with the Necro splitting, BCS is going to have an awkward time running flags. Good thing about the Necro splitting though is that he does 1v1 every character on GG's team. That's why you see the Lisa hiding in the footman here. I think the Necro can even kill the Lisa through the footman. Well, usually anyway. You do, however, only see fleeting stability and avatar of Lisa used on the Lisa. Means that he probably doesn't have Vow Piety. And perhaps has Lisa's Haste. The one skill you bring on Lisa to counter a Necro. Makes the Lisa actually able to kill the Necro as he can interrupt Necro's heal skill. So, very interesting spec there by GG. Hang on, GG actually with two Lisas. They got a Lisa main? Oh man, that's huge. They got the Lisa main with Vow Piety and the Lisa on split, probably with Lisa's Haste. So they've spec'd the split Necro and they've still got the easy flag running with the main team Lisa. And in fact, GG just running flag on 8 Monk right now, but they could run flag on Lisa if they need to. So GG with a huge build advantage. The only thing going against them is the weird build that Meze has. Wastrels, backfire, not going to do too much this game. P-Spike, P-Drain, PI. Necro on split's got to man up and make something happen because his main team's at a significant build disadvantage. Shield Bash on the 7 Monk shows he might have been expecting Singust. PI'd. 8 Monk of BCS goes down. Eight Monk rezzed. But GG just putting out full offense, nothing that BCS can offer in retaliation. Ranger gets poison up, but is it enough? Poison's so easy to interrupt with the two Mesmers with hard erupt that even if the Ranger does put out some pressure, poison can just be erupted at that point. BCS without Elisa, no easy way to run the flag through here. It's either trying to run it on Balturv, but he's taken a massive amount of damage. Also, Balturv of GG has Prot Strike to add insult to injury. Makes him do even more damage to this flag running Balth. BCS take a death back here as they get stretched out on the flag run. Res Sig on the Balth. Not packed. Enrage Smash, packed Hammer Warrior. Flag run next out of the 8 Monk of GG. It's Willy on 8. Dodging the mail shot easily as he has like 2 ping. Player famous for having great ping on Euro servers. GG not even going to bother protecting these front door NPCs, just going to try and wipe BCS at the main instead. Necro's got to feel some urgency. He gets Footman now. It's a second Footman he's got. Got to push the tempo a little bit. Wearing Strike. Oh man. Signet of Pious Restraint. Okay, this Lisa cannot fight this Necro at all. It's not even close. This Necro will tear this Lisa to shreds. So, no Harrier's... what was it called? Harrier's Interrupt, whatever that skill's called. So, Necro has to put the pressure on backdoor now. It's the only way BCS can win this game. Got to push the tempo. Erupt on the poison. Takes off the natural stride with the wastrels. Ranger goes down very fast. Necro pushing the tempo here. Come on. Let's go. You win this 1v1 easily. Not even close. He's just got to engage. Lisa Dervish has to run in to make him think that he's got to be scared at least. Push him off the archer a little bit, let the archer heal himself. Lisa Dervish has got to tank a bit of damage and then run back. Necro's got to stop chickening out and actually go for it. Bit of a weird strip there. Come on, keep putting up your weakness and spam on this guy. Okay, that's a nice strip. That's a nice strip. You got to engage though. Put the weakness up. Oh man. Necro a bit out of practice here. To do with some reps. Some 1v1 reps. Just want to double check. There is no Lisa's haste here, right? It's Wearing Strike instead of... Yeah, it's Wearing Strike instead of Aura Slicer, Signet of Pass Restraint instead of Lisa's haste. Another 1v1 engagement. Mystic Regen goes up, covered twice. Covered once. Could be stripped. Yep. This is good. This is a bit better from the Necro. Should be able to get the archer down now. Strip. Strip if he got it. Yep, archer going down. Got to dodge that grip. Force the Signet Fast Restraint. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. It's almost there. Come on. Oh man, heal yourself. Lisa ends. Use Mystic Regen without Lisa. If he gets stripped now, it's down for a long time. Come on. Oh, that's why he's running, as a collapse. Whoopsie daisy, I didn't see that. Yeah, very out of practice, unfortunately. Understandable. BCS is an old European guild that's just come back since Reforged. Good try. And smart by GG to collapse the second Lisa there. To guarantee the kill. Good thing you can collapse the second Lisa because you've got Signet of Price Restraint, so you can always pin the Solo Splitter's movement. So even if you don't win the 1v1, you just pin him down and collapse. Very wise by GG. Very, very wise. Willie finally eats a Mel shot. Res on the Necro. Necro runs away from the potential 4v2. Or 3v2. Oh, you know why though? Because there's a Dervish in his base. And he saves his footman and archer. BCS warrior on the way. Gonna go down though to the Lisa. And the Mesmer. Not a great engagement for BCS to take without an 8 monk. Necro at risk of going down after time. Got to dodge the spear. Oh, just dodges that spear. Got to dodge another one if it comes. Nope, no second spear. Clutch dodge. Oh, goes down anyway. Kills himself with the Blood of Renewal. Bit of a mistake there. Whoopsie daisy. Flag run out of the Mesmer. Whoa, he's under the bridge. Whoa! Okay, he's back up again. That was interesting. Found a little hidey spot under the bridge. Ranger solo splitting, 2v1 by Mesmer. 3v1. Mesmer, Monk, and Dervish will go down. Behind the poison. No PI for the troll. That's a nice bait on the PI for the poison. You guarantee the troll. Smart move. Too little though. Look at that. That's another 89 damage mind rack. Either he's got shielding hands, or we have another Mesmer that's not running. Yeah, no shielding hands there. Another Mesmer that's not running max Dom magic. Let's see. Mind rack. How much damage is an 89 mind rack? 13. So a Mesmer with 13 Dom magic. So apparently this is just the meta now that Dom Mesmers don't max out their Dom magic. Look at that 15 P leak. That's 15 P leak 13. Yeah, so definitely 13 Dom magic. Okay, so Mesmers just don't max out their Dom magic now. It's good to know. There's a 15 Dom magic shatter. I'm guessing from this one. So this one probably has maxed out his Dom magic to 15. This one though running 13. Mesmer it. You know, that makes a Mesmer much less scary for an Ellie, because your P-Leak is a lot less, your E-Surge E-Burn is a lot less. Much more fun to play against a Mesmer with lower Dom magic as an Ellie. I guess for enemy Mesmers though, this guy is casting a lot faster, so it's harder to interrupt. Anyway, BCS is wiping. Prot's dead, 8's dead. That's probably it. Lisa of GG taking some damage, but team arrives and he'll be fine. All monks down. Any res? Larceny to try and steals PI. It's funny, it's a hard res. I mean a hard rep, so he may be able to get the res off. He can just dodge the complicate of the Mesrit. No, not enough time. And the game goes to GG. Nice try there by BCS. Good to see them back in the game. Next up, we have OG versus GG. Two American guilds. Old school American split guild. Skittles guild here. In GG, and in OG we have another old school, even more old school American guild. So we got American guilds up the wazoo today. And it's a bizarre build out of OG. It's another OG special, Uncharted Isle special, Charge Writ, Double Dervish, probably Grenth, and Gust. So it's a 4-4 split essentially. 2 monks main, single Dervish, Mesmer. Wonder if this is a Lisa. Would make sense because he can run flags more easily. Grenth for the 2 damage threat against a single monk. If GG defends with 2 monks. So it's a 4-man split, 3 damage 1 monk, 4 main with 2 damage 2 monks. GG doing a 5-man main, double run, 3-man backdoor. This is a good setup for GG, to be honest. If they can figure out who else to join split with. I guess they don't really have a good +1 for the split other than the Prot Monk. But the 2 Ellies on split here out of GG are against no interrupts and only one enchantment move in Rend. So if they can not get caught, they do have a very strong base defense, in my opinion. Granth has Vow Piety. Attacker's Insight. Tanky against Ellie's, tanky against Frontline. Not so tanky against Enchant Strips. So yeah, Granth also with Nightmare Weapon, very powerful frontline character, frontline role to have in this 4-man split. You know what he's susceptible to is... Actually, I was going to say Hammer Warriors, but I don't know. It's like Hammer Warriors plus Strips. But maybe not even that. Hammer Warriors, if he was against a Meze and a Hammer, for example, he would eat a lot of E-Denial and Strips. One thing about the Granth Bar is that it's hard on energy. So with E-Denial and Strips, it's hard to keep up your defense. And then a Hammer Warrior can KD lock you. Anyway, pulling the Knights. Now, 3-man defense still out of GG. Not sending back a 4th man. Yeah, 4th man comeback now to Mez. Yeah, they take out the Rit there. OG take out a Knight though in the process. That's what I mean about the Ellies being so strong in this combination. There's nothing to shut them down other than a single Rend and Gale spam. So they can do a huge amount of damage against OG. Even in a 3v4. They killed the Rit before the Mez even arrived. It's just awkward for GG that they don't have a good 4th man to defend with. It's a smart move. Oh, OG take a death here at the main as well, as the prop monk is in the center. Following the prop monk of GG. That was Hammer and Gust. So GG's getting the better of this so far. If OG had a Mesmer instead of the Rit, then I would rate this 4-4 split very highly, as their 4-man against the 2 Ellies would be powerful as opposed to just crappy like it is right now. OG might even consider putting the Mesmer on split side, to be honest. It's a Mez Rit though, unfortunately, so it doesn't have a speed boost. The OG kind of not doing so hot at the moment. A lot of Ren spam. Granth going in. If he doesn't get his Vow Piety stripped, then he's very hard to kill and he can disrupt the Ellie's movement quite a lot. And it looks like that's what he's doing. Awkward spot for the Ellies to be stuck in. There's a Rit coming too. It's going to be 5-man out of OG. Prot's here to support, so GG's not going to be able to turn around and kill, and in fact they take a death there on the Mez. OG split is going to be caught badly after time. Gust, CC, Harrier's Grasp going to do a lot of work to keep them pinned in this retreat. Prop Monk nowhere near. He's trying to come and help, but it's going to be too late. He's going to have to come through his front door. And very unfortunate for GG. Barelli caught too. Too much CC, everyone caught. Whole split of GG's dead. A minute to base res. GG's main team has to pull back all the way to reduce the risk of losing their full pit here. Pro Monk of OG decides to stay on the split side. Running RC again, by the way. So, I mentioned before that RC might be a spec against the Singust with AOD Mez, but it may also just be something that OG runs. Regardless. GG now pins it in their base. They've got to make sure they keep these NPCs alive if they can. Very important to keep these archers and bodyguard alive. Still have a knight up. They actually didn't lose any NPCs for that. Good hold by GG. They boosted earlier in the game. So not too much DP stacked on them despite all those deaths on split side. Now the split early's a GG coming front door. Oh, I don't know about this. They are going to lose a lot of the pit for this. GG is just cheesing front door. But they have to cap the flag at the same time, and they're kind of sending back one of the allies now. Okay, they're probably going to lose a knight, I'm guessing. Nope. Knight's still up for now. It's close. Close. They're going to lose it. Yeah, they're going to lose it. Yep. GG try and cheese rush through the front door, but they had to cap the flag, so the push was limited, and now they're just stuck defending the base with only 2 monks. Dangerous spot to be in against 3 damage. They are gonna have to come back and support because these monks will go down. Bane Signet on the pro monk. AOS on the 8 gonna be very helpful here, but it's probably too late. He looks like he's gonna go down any second now. Way too much damage coming out. Some messages. Anyway, the 8 monk went down, 6 monk. Close to going down, but doesn't bodyguard. And Archie go down, and GG don't accomplish much except a potential boost, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen either. So the bet taken by GG does not pay off. Seven of GG goes down as GG was defending with 2 monks. And GG, I feel as though they could have kept defending in the 3v4, but I think they just got shaken up by that full wipe that they had after they got caught out in OG's backdoor by all the CC. And now they pay for it with their pit. Grenth and Rit in the back door. Strong combination. Needs more than a 1-man defense. Mez Rit is back to help defend too. See what the Rit's bar is. Can he survive through a Mez? Resilient weapon, nightmare weapon, Builder's Boon. So he can't survive that easily through a Mez. The Mez gets off his chain, right, if he rupts the nightmare weapon and strips the Grenth. then it would be difficult for OG to win the 2v2 in the pit. But it's just going to be the 8 monk defending right now again. Archer's exposed, may go down. Kept alive for now. 8 monk's going to need some support soon though. Can't hold this for long. Split alley of GG trying to make something happen. Joined by his Mesrit. Other split alley also trying to make something happen. He's on top of a Mez though, so his impact will be limited. Actually, OG abandoned the split. Find the 7 monk though. One v one backdoor, Fire Rally versus Monk. Gust running flag. So it's no longer a 4-man split out of OG, it's kind of turned into something else entirely. Looks like maybe the Rit is trying to find his way to split once again. Grenth coming to support. Rit in potential trouble. Nope. He'll be fine. Funny, he is resilient on himself and then healed a little bit due to the resilience, so he got the condition from his ally which caused him to heal. Just a funny little interaction there. Split re-engaged by OG. It's going to be a 2-man, potentially 3-man, including a monk. Air Elliot comes back. Okay, 2 Ellie split once again. This is what worked out for GG earlier in the game. Nope. Forget it, it's a single Ellie. Not sure what they're looking for, to be honest. Okay, Gust will defend. Gust will defend effectively. Selfish Gust. And some low damage farming out of the Grenth. Mesrit comes back. Chases off the OG split. And it's getting late over here. Kind of an awkward 3v3 on the split. Skittles on his way to make it a 4v3. If Cryptor joins the fight once again, that is. Oh, jump here. Prop Monk of OG ready to support split. And Warrior ready to disrupt. Who's been running flags? It's been probably the Gustelli. Gustelli of GG running flags. Trying to pass it to the Warrior, it seems. Nope, Warrior just trying to disrupt the counterplay. Haha, Monk doing a good job as well. Gets in front of the Dervish. Oh, Crypto went down while the Monk was blocking. And GG. Starting to fall apart. Accumulating a bit too much DP. So now they've been stacking up DP. Yeah, I can see it falling apart. Stacking up DP, lost their pit. No monks up. Enough time for OG to end it. And game goes to OG. What else? What else? What else do we have? We got Fist versus Guess the Game Begins. I'm going to skip our game against SKT because I'm running out of time. This time is not correct. It's actually 2 hours. It's like 3:30 a.m. I'm going to skip our game because I already streamed it and uploaded it, and it's 28 minutes, I think. And we're going to see Fist versus Guess Game Begins, GGB. Who I do not recognize. Anyway, these poor souls running up against Fist in the playoffs. Fist with the balanced trip melee, double mez, Lisa out the back door, possibly Balth at the front door. Yep, Balth or a Grenth, probably a Balth. Warrior waiting for a second flag. Is Balth. Monk back looking for the split, second flag on Meze. So GGB with the kind of Singus shell. And then a Dervish, Balth Dervish, and second Mez. So double Mez, single Sin, single Gust, Dervish. Pulling back immediately at the stand. Going to be forced to defend with the 8 Monk. Nothing else to defend. Actually, they could defend with the Meze. Meze is PI though, so I guess not. PI Empathy. Empathy. Maybe he can. Shame though, so maybe not. His bar is in a lot of different places at once. They're getting the flag out. They're not close to dying, so they're doing well. Backup flag's already here by Fist. Fist have to pass to someone. Who are they going to give it to? Not dropping it yet for some reason. I guess they're just expecting the enemy to cap, so keeping another warrior so they can run it through when the opportunity arises. Baltev looking for a 1v1 against the Gust Ellie. Should go the way of the Gust Ellie, and it is. Not looking so good here for Luke on Dervish. Goes down, base res, tactical base res for the second flag, or the third flag rather. Brilliant move as always. Second flag out of the Meze of GGB. Front door push by Luke on Balth and by the flag holding warrior who's been unable to pass off the flag. Oh, I guess he was able to pass off the flag because he's got coward built. Goes for the Meze holding the flag, Proc gets in range, Aegis. And now a flag run. Flag pickup again somehow by the warrior that charged in. Flag was not returned. Fortunate for Fist. There's the flag cap by the Meze of GGB. Fist has lost their footman, by the way. Big P spike, 16. Okay, this Mez ain't messing around. Whichever one has got 16 Dom magic. None of this 16 fast casting nonsense. Lisa trying to harass the flag run. Does successfully. Harry is not dodged by the Meze. Forced to be drawn. Baldervish gets dangerously low. Flag cap coming from the Meze. Wonder why I didn't get Cryptsigged. Cryptsig has not been interrupted. Maybe it was Cryptsigged and just drawn. Meze arrives back at the main team. 77 once again. Now 7v6 as Fist goes to run on their own Meze. Just going to pull back. They're a player disadvantage plus with Footman pulled. Whoa! Baldervish almost goes down again and needs 30 DP, but Assassin goes down to GGB instead. Fist with the full-on anti-spec. They've got, you know, their balance build that can respond to anything. Infuse, even Infuse on the 7 monk. Not something that you commonly run on Uncharted and the Purge. So they have an answer to every single possible build out there with this. Bit of a jack of all trades, master of none approach, but they can afford to do it because they are the best guild in the game, or one of. Flag cap soon out of GGB. I would guess you are probably going to see some... I was going to say pressure from Fist around the front door on the side here to open up the flag path, but no, Fists kind of just pull back into their front door. Very passive play by Fist. Perhaps feeling unstable. Not enjoying this game so far, I think, is Fist. Flag run as a team on the Warrior. Yeah, here we go. Flag. So while they flag run, they push front door to cause a distraction and pull back damage. Not great time for the Lisa to be here though, I think. As it does pull a monk nearby. He must not have QX, right? No, he does have QX. It's interesting that he's purge sigging the empathy instead of just QXing it. Flag push by Warrior. Almost successful. May yet be successful. Does have success. Takes out the number 8 monk. And next, probably going to take out the Meze as well. Yeah, no mind rack, nothing to cover the empathy, so unnecessary to use purge signet on it, can just QX it. Purge conditions still. Assassin goes down again. That's his second death, 30 DP. Not a character you want to be stacking DP on, as he's very squishy and hard to hide. Yep, goes down again almost. Yep. goes down to the Rending Aura. 45 DP on the Assassin, and that is Fist's path to victory at this point. Is straight through that Assassin's DP. Probably expect a pact soon. Resig. Dovrit has Resig, yeah. So Assassin resed, but they're right back on him again, and as soon as he engages, they're going to blow him up, and he will be 60'd. And if he's on pact, we'll bring down his teammate with him. But I think he's just on Sig, probably Sig. Yeah, I think it was Sig from the alley. Goes down again. No Sigs left, just pacts. Sorry, I lied. Sig here on the Dervish that would normally have packed, and goes down again. So that's Fist's path to victory. Fist not showing, I feel, the dominant performance that you might expect in a playoffs game from them though, after going 6-0 in Swiss. Interesting. Perhaps a little rusty. Or perhaps GGB is just playing very well. Sprint and B stance on the prot. So, match goes to Fist. No surprise there. And yeah, well done to GGB. They played quite well. Usually you'd see Fist roll over a team in a situation like this, but they actually held their ground. And it looked a little iffy for Fist a couple times that match. So definitely well played. Okay, last match to OBS. It is Mile versus ZQ. Recipe for a banger. Mile, Singust. Mile is no slouch. They are a tough guild. And they're very good at Singust. So this is a challenging matchup for ZQ. ZQ also with Singust. Potentially with a split alley though. Windborne speed. Singust with maybe a lightning surge or a mind shock. Motoko here probably with Storm Engines. So it's a full Singust with 1 Eremites, 1 Rend against a Singust with a Lightning Surge split. Single Gust. Dash! Okay. No, it's an MOI. Singust, okay, it's a Singust shell. It's an interesting kind of Singust shell. So it's a Gust, Domez, Sin, MOI, Lightning Surge. Nothing on Mile can 1v1 the Lightning Surge, so Mile is going to defend with the 8 Monk. At the same time, nothing on Mile. Oh! Almost gets the flag return. Shadow of Haste pops Motoko back at the last second. Not able to pick up that flag. Mile Gust can now run the flag. So, MOI is very good at harassing the flag path on Uncharted. If he just puts up an MOI in the Gust L, it takes a long time for the Gust to run flags. Gust also doesn't have a self-heal, so is at risk of being soloed if the MOI engages on him. And the MOI can always pop himself back with Shadow of Haste if he's ever in trouble. Miles split alley. arcing up on the assassin here. Erupts the mark of insecurity, so good start to the engagement there. Assassin gonna turn tail and run for the support of a monk. Unfortunately burns the feigned neutrality there for a second. Pops the Shadow of Haste so it doesn't end when he does the next run, when he completes the run. And goes in for it now. Miles gustily though has been, well, I wouldn't say wasting time, but it is kind of wasting time if he's just pulling at 8 and his main team accomplishes nothing. Lots of camp on the solo gust of ZQ to be expected. He will be probably the most hated man this game. Received the most shutdown from anyone, out of anyone. Flag cap by Gust. Flag run by MOI Sin. Should see the Shadow of Haste popped any second. There it is. So he will be solo double running. No contest this time for the flag. So if Mile don't contest the flag and they just single run like this, ZQ will get ahead and eventually find an opening. Mile are 2 monks main, ZQ are 3, so ZQ is inherently more stable. Especially while Mile have to constantly run the flag on one of the gusts. There you can see ZQ getting a significant advantage on the flag. Taking some damage there. Waiting perhaps for the Shadow of Haste. Nope, gonna drop an MOI maybe on the footman. Yep, on the footman. Now that they're engaged. And brings the footman down almost. Yep, one footman down, second footman down. Worthwhile to stick there for the MOI. Flag cap, Shadow base popped. MOI staying main. Gonna push his advantage. ZQ smell blood. Not willing to push through the choke though. It's Mar that have to run the flag. Mar run it now. MOI on the gust. Makes him very vulnerable. And very slow. ZQ's cheesing this, they're not running the backup. Taking full advantage of their offensive capacity. Here we go, can they take down the gust? Holding the flag, they almost got him. No MOI on the target. So we're gonna, yeah, I think that was an MOI up there, so Mal doing a good job taking out the MOI in that engagement, forcing the assassin to go back, reset, and run a flag. Mal gonna have to go finish their flag run soon. ZQ take a death on the assassin, but Mile gonna have to go run now, which will relieve the pressure on ZQ. Well done by Mile though. Important to get DP on the assassins, as we've seen a lot this map. Flag cap, flag run by MOI of ZQ, not contested once again. It's interesting, if you contest him, I feel like he should have considered contesting, because with Shadow of Haste, if he can force the assassin to pop it and teleport back, then it's you're no further behind than if you just ran to main, didn't contest, and he pops it anyway after he caps. I guess it's safer. Safer to just run away. You don't risk losing a 1v1 against an MOI. Don't risk getting MOI on yourself and getting mired at the flag stand. So ZQ burning their flag advantage again to stick all damage main. Or 4 damage main. 4 damage against 2 monks. Got an MOI on the assassin here. Assassin's getting low. This may be the time that Mile wipe. It's getting dangerously close. It's been 2 more reps on MOI since we last saw. It's very important for ZQ that they try and Aegis the MOI. Mesmer, you can see he's pushed up, making sure he's in range of the assassin. Misses it there. MOI gets off on the Mez. Mez gonna retreat. Retreat to safety. And ZQ gonna take a boost. ZQ's offensive posturing and cheating on the flag paying off. Basically the Shadow of Haste alone almost. The fact that it gives them this flag advantage. And that Mile is never double running. And not pressuring out the assassin. You can, if they have Wild Strike, they could be pressuring the front door of ZQ a lot more. It's probably better to be fighting at ZQ's front door than it is at their own front door. It's a smart job by ZQ pushing them back. In fact. Because this assassin has Wild Strike, this assassin has Fox Fang, so this one at least could be taking off the Shadow of Haste. Stopping ZQ from getting ahead on flags and then pushing aggressively with their 4 damage against 2 monks. Purge signal on the 8 monk here of Mile. And Cure Hex. Let's see, anything weird? Not many Pensive Guardians used by the 6. A lot more Life Sheaths. Aura Stabs. Shielding Hands. Medium amount of Spirit Bonds. Couple Aegises. Only 2 Aegises out of the Prop Monk of ZQ. Or Dervish, rather, of ZQ. Should see a lot more Aegises to support getting off the MOI. So something ZQ could coordinate a little bit better. A lot more Guardians used though. A lot more skills in general it looks like. Perhaps a few less Spirit Bonds. Yeah, 8 less Spirit Bonds. Nearly half as many Spirit Bonds. Way more Guardians. Is that right? Way more Guardians. 4 times as many Guardians. By ZQ's prot. See a difference in the 7 monks. A little bit of an engagement, a bit of poking. So, Sig Rejuve, we've got 21 heal bursts, 30 patience. On Mars Heal Monk, we've got 34 patience. Sorry, 34 heal bursts, 26 patience, so it's like inverse. See teams getting a bit impatient. 8 monk going a little low there. For just a moment. Oh, Jordan somehow found a footman through the 8 monk. Fair play. poking, getting a little bit more serious now. Engagement begins. MOI on the gust number 4. Puts up his attunement. I think MOI was off by the point he did. We'll see. One more interrupt on the MOI. We'll see if he's able to get it off. It's the key skill in this engagement for ZQ, for both teams actually. It is what decides whether ZQ can actually finish their kills. And if ZQ can't, then they will eventually die. Gets it off there. Defensive MOI. Other assassin almost goes down. He's close. Another MOI. Who's it on? Was it this assassin? Oh, we see it. No, I'm confused. MOI on the Mez now, I think. What? How's he? Did he just? Okay, he got a boost. I was thinking, how's he casting it over and over and over again like that? Fat finger on Shadow of Haste. Another MOI up. MOI is just going up everywhere now. MOI for you. MOI for you. Got Oprah over here. Anyway, Mez goes down for Mile. ZQ gaining ground bit by bit. MOI on the Mez Rit goes down very quickly. No res left. Minute to base res. Fighting without a Mesmer. Every MOI now will get off. It's on the Knights. That Knight goes down with MOI last night. Eight Monk of Mile, abandoned split, gives up backdoor. Lightning Surge pushes in. Main team of Mile stabilizes with their third Monk. ZQ pulls back. Jorn decides not to pin the Monk to the pit. MY here. Difficult for ZQ to push past this point because of the alley being split. He's at risk if Mile turns around and runs at him. If he eats a pin down or a gale, for example, could be over for him and he'll be dead for 2 minutes. In fact, that's what they're going for. Manages to escape. Meanwhile, while they were chasing the Ellie, ZQ engages front. Now they'll be in an 8v7 though. The ZQ a man down in this engagement. Mesmer is up to interrupt the MOIs. Very aggressively positioned to do it. Gets it there with P-Spike. Mesmer though may go down anyway. Jorn engages the pit, gets the bodyguard. Number 8 pinned back into the pit now. Mile gonna have to give up on this engagement. Forced to defend the pit. Nice job by Jorn there, sneaking that bodyguard. Knight down as well. ZQ edging ahead. Jorn looking for the archer. 8 Monk playing between the pit and the main. PI there on the MOI. Mesrid of Mile does a good job keeping it out. Nearly pays for it with his life. Still close to dying. Jorn going for the other pit archer. 8 Monk of Mile trying to have it both ways. Working so far, but now Mesrit goes down. Lots of pressure coming out onto ZQ, but with the Mesrit down, they should be able to survive, I think. It's close though. If they do die here, it will be after time. So critical for ZQ that they don't take any deaths right now. As any death could lead to a chain wipe and a game loss. Looks like they've made it out of that part alive. Miles still pushing their advantage. Eating a lot of MOIs though, it seems, as they do it. Mal pushing deep. They see this as their opportunity. No, now retreating. Back to the base. Not much of the base left though. Only 2 archers in the pit. If one of them goes down, then Jordan can farm lord damage, making the game very challenging for Mal. Adding an extra layer of difficulty. ZQ demonstrating patience. Baits out the P-Spike. Baits out the PI. Gets it. Sig Hum. Gets it before the Sig Hum. Assassin runs the gauntlet. Gets off an MOI. It's on this assassin here. Takes out the 8 monk of ZQ though. Basing in 10 seconds. Managed to get the 8 monk back up. ZQ gonna have to pull out. No opening for Jordan to get down any pit NPCs. ZQ is on the run. It's another difficult time to be wiping. Looks like they're kind of stabilizing. Yep, look pretty stable now. Fighting in the open. And Mal gonna pull back. Mal's running out of time. They're doing the right thing, looking for these critical after time kills, before and after time kills, but they're running out of time to find them. It's only 9 minutes to 28. Realistically, it's 7 minutes until they have to start making their 28 moves. So only 7 minutes to make these plays, which means that there's only 3 more base res timers. So 3 more opportunities basically for Mal. Take out ZQ's assassin there, should be death pack though. So a wipe here will help Mal get back in the game, but won't be game ending. They are getting a more successful wipe this time. Whatever Mal changed up about their strategy, it is working. No flag run by Mal. Not quite yet. It's going to be another boost. Another boost for ZQ after their wipe. So if you're ZQ now, you're kind of wondering what you can do. You've done about as much as you can. You've been perma boosting, you've pushed all the way into Mal's base, you've taken almost all their pit, but not enough to be farming lore damage. Smart move, splitting the MOI. That will allow them to farm lore damage and get down more pit NPCs and force Mal to defend with damage. Splitting the MOI would be a brilliant move from this position by ZQ. Absolutely brilliant. Pops the Shadow of Ace though. Maybe he's just trying to stall. But I think it would be a really smart move for him to actually commit to a split right now. Doing so is pulling back a gust. Second damage to take off Entourage. Just looking for the monk right now. Archer? I don't think they have enough damage to actually kill the archer through the monk. 6 prod of Mal goes down. Despite no MOI. Now the split of ZQ has to be a bit careful. They've got a gust on top of them. We'll CC their movement. They're at risk of being caught here. Assassins on the way. KD'd on the Gale. Split of ZQ's core. They're going to have to connect together. Thankfully, two of Miles' main team is dead, Mesmer and Prot. ZQ successfully connects together. Mile is wiping. ZQ looking for archers. Still 2 monks left. And 10 seconds from base res. One archer goes down. Jorn now will be able to farm more damage. Going for the second archer. Doesn't get it in time. But that's all that ZQ needed, was that second archer down. Or one of the archers down. And now they can get about 4 minutes of lore damage. If they go for it. Just going for the archer first. Trying to sneak it when the monk's not watching. Almost get it. Not quite. Does the monk not have Spirit Bond? He does. He does have Spirit Bond. So now Mile can be forced to camp their pit. Probably. Until 28 so that the Ellie can't farm more damage. They've got they've got 2 more after times that they can play for. The 24 minute and the 26 minute. 24 minute one being more realistic. Since by the 26 minute one, ZQ could be positioning for 28. Setting back the Prot. LS Prot, because the 8 monk has Purge Sig and Cure Hex, and does better against the MOI. So Mile looking for a more stable main team config. See if it pays off. They can now remove the MOI more easily. Perhaps that opens up the Mez to play aggressively on the monks. See what the Mez is playing on. Playing on enemy Mesmer. Looks like he's gone for the MOI still. Misses it. ZQ loses an assassin. That's a base res. This is the 24-minute base res timer. It's one of the win conditions for Mile. They find an 8 monk. It's going to be close. Can they get the pact off? Pact complicated. Mile getting pushed back. 2 of them dead after time. ZQ is in huge trouble right now. They still have their Pactor up, but there's no way to get these 2 dead players up. ZQ have to find a way to turn around and find kills when their pick gets aggroed. They're still linebacking, which is very risky. Toko's running through. It's a smart move. It's going to draw back damage potentially. Draw back a gust, relieve a little bit of pressure on ZQ. ZQ loses 1 knight. 1 assassin's diving deep. He's got to be careful that he doesn't overextend himself too much. I think he's got some DP, right? He's got 4 deaths. Mesrit goes down. Again, he's going to be down. There's no res for him. Down for, what, 40 seconds? And that will stop the momentum of Mile. Meanwhile, the Prot Dervish goes down. He's dead for 30 seconds. Down to the MOI. And now ZQ can end the game. They have time to end the game before Mile reaches their base. I mean, it would be close, so they just go for the archer instead. Safe play. And yeah, Mile's push is stopped dead in its tracks. Mile comes back to defend the base. Not where you want to be for 28. ZQ get to farm some lore damage now. It's fully empty pit. See what Mile do from this position. Pushing out the main. Marl can still win this, actually. Because while Marl's Pit is dead, ZQ has not farmed much lore damage yet, and Singust is very good at getting lore damage. Marl is going to defend with an 8 monk and a Mesmer. Smart move, especially because the Mesmer has got a lot of DP and will help a lot in the defense against the Ellie. ZQ could be throwing this, actually, because ZQ is not sending much of a lore damage team. Also, the Mesmer of Marl is making a huge mistake following out the MOI. He should be back in his base stopping the Lightning Surge from farming lore damage for 2 minutes. Huge mistake by the Mesmer here. Following the... I guess he kind of has to, doesn't he? Because Marl is going to wipe, pushing into ZQ's pit. But ZQ able to stop Marl before Marl reaches the pit. Very well played by ZQ. I perhaps would have sent more damage to the enemy base, but this worked out beautifully for ZQ. They're able to utilize the fact that Marl has got a decent amount of DP by this point of the game, and ZQ's got a lot of offense. And they're able to stop Marl in their tracks as they go for ZQ's pit and ZQ's Ellie. Jorn able to farm a lot of lore damage in the time being, guaranteeing the 28 win for ZQ. And that is the story of how ZQ got past playoffs. ZQ made it all the way, as we saw, to, what was it, semi-finals, until they were stopped in their tracks by Fist on Burning. So ZQ had a great mat. Fantastic run. Came fourth in the mat out of, let's see how many guilds there were. There were 33 guilds. A great run by ZQ. Anyway, that's all that we're going to obs. It is 4 AM on a Thursday, so I need to get to bed. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.